everyone. Welcome to Jacksonville. Along with Phil Simms, I'm Greg Gumbel. As my partner says, boy, those quarterbacks are really important, and we'll keep an eye on them today. First of all, for the New England Patriots, with Drew Bledsoe still out with the badly injured right index finger, that means Scott Zolak will play in his first postseason game since his days in Maryland in the Independence Bowl.
Well, you think he'd be nervous when you're making your first playoff start, only your third straight start as a starter for the New England Patriots. But Scott Zolak, we saw him last night, very upbeat, very happy. You know, he's really digging this starting quarterback thing, and what they will do today, run the football hard inside and try to throw the football in short passes to make it easy on Scott Zolak.
Well, Jaguars fans are pleased that Mark Brunell will be back in the starting lineup today. His problem has been a high ankle sprain. He's been out for the last 3 games. It doesn't bode well for a guy who scrambles.
Well, Greg, we saw him on Friday. He was in really good spirits. We watched him practice. I thought he threw the ball very well, moved around fairly well. The big thing is, how long will that ankle feel good? And if he does scramble, he can go straight ahead. He just has a hard time going side to side.
A New England win sends the Patriots to Denver, and a Jacksonville win sends the Jaguars to the Jets. Much like the F-15 Eagles that overflew the stadium a few moments ago. Coming at you on CBS. Sellout crowd of more than 73,000 here in Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville have seen the Patriots win the toss. They had lost their previous 7 coin tosses. In a moment, perhaps, we shall see. Deep to receive for New England is number 29, Derek Cullors, and 23, Cedric Shaw. Mike Hollis set to kick it away. And here we go. Cullors fumbles the ball at the goal line and is hit hard before he reaches the 15 by number 55, Tom McManus. So quarterback Scott Zolak with 3 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions to his credit. In his 8th season out of Maryland, brings the offense onto the field. They will start from their own 14-yard line.
Well, you got to feel good about Scott Zolak, Greg. He came in the meeting last night. Wasn't it great? He came in there laughing, having a good time, and he goes, you know, I'm really getting used to the starting quarterback thing. I'm not going to like it when I have to go back to the sidelines and hold that clipboard again.
Head coach Pete Carroll. And on the other side, Tom Coughlin. Play clock is down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, and he gets the snap off. No penalty marker flies. The pass to the far side to the rookie Edwards, and it's complete. But let's check the penalty. Our official today is Ron Blum. The procedure call is against the Patriots. Let's take a look at the New England offense.
Illegal formation offense. Number 77 was on the end of the line. 5 yards, rookie first down.
The call is against Zephyrus Moss. Here's a look at that offensive line for the Patriots. Moss at one tackle, Bruce Armstrong at the other, Lane, Wollabaugh, and Rucci in the middle. Robert Edwards, the rookie, Tony Carter at fullback, Jefferson and Simmons the wideouts, and Ben Coates the tight end. First and 15. Edwards tries the left side, spins, and not a whole lot there. The Jacksonville defense looks like this. Schmengi, Yurkovich, Kelvin Pritchett, Tony Brackens. The linebackers, Pop, Schwartz, Kevin Hardy, the leading tackler for the Jaguars. Beasley and Thomas are the corners. Chris Hudson and the rookie Donovan Darius are the safeties. On On 2nd and 15, Zolak throws, and a miscommunication on the far side of the field where Tony Simmons was going up the field, and Zolak was looking for him to cut it off shorter.
Well, Greg, a couple things this New England offense would like to do today. Of course, they'd like to run the football. People have been running the football tough and up inside against the Jacksonville defense. And when they throw the ball, they'd like to throw it short to help out Scott Zolak. Now, Jacksonville's defense, Dick Duran, the coordinator, what they would like to do, this offense struggled last week. They wanted to make 10 or 12 plays to see if they can do that to score a touchdown.
Zolak completed just 2 passes to wide receivers in last week's loss to the Jets. Throws to the near side, complete to Ben Coates, and Coates gets to the 10-yard line, a pickup of just 2 on the play.
You know, a different atmosphere here in the stadium that I've experienced before, because the crowd is really into the game, and you can see that energy going to the football players on the field.
In to punt for the Patriots is Tom Tupa. He kicked for a 44.5-yard average during the regular season. And Reggie Barlow, number 84, is deep for the Jaguars. He had a 92-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against New England last season. Might have been partly blocked. Barlow at the 45 and out of bounds at the 40. It will be great field position. Kevin Hardy in on the punter.
Kevin Hardy, number 51, comes in. It doesn't even look like he's blocked. He comes from the left side. Let's watch him come. There he is. New England blows the blocking pattern up front. And it's just, hey, he got a piece of the ball, but he's upset because he should have blocked this punt. The ball goes underneath him.
So Hardy congratulated for a job well done on the sideline as Mark Brunell makes his first appearance, having missed 3 games with a sprained ankle. Taylor for a couple. Mark Brunell in his 6th season out of Washington. Terrific numbers on the season, and the offensive line in front of him has John Wade at center replacing Quentin Newyear. Wade is a rookie out of Marshall. Fred Taylor and Damon Shelton are the backs. Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell, excellent wideouts. Pete Mitchell is the tight end. On 2nd and 8. Hole on the left side for Mitchell. Close to first down yardage, as you can tell by the CBS first down marker. And now the Patriot defense. Up front, Collins, Eaton, Henry Thomas, Willie McGinnis. The linebackers, Chris Slade, Marty Moore, Teddy Bruschi. In the secondary, Ty Law and Steve Israel on the corners. Willie Clay, Lawyer Malloy, the safety. Steve Sidwell, the man who runs that New England defense. Double tight end setup for the Jaguars and Brunell. Taylor looking for first down yardage and appears to have it. Ron Blum is going to call timeout, and it appears going to call for a measurement.
Well, it looks like he's got the first down, but Greg, I was watching the first couple plays, just watching Mark Brunell as he took the snap from the center and moved around the handoff to the running back. Looks like he's moving around a little better than he did Friday. Friday, at the beginning of practice, we all looked at each other and went, there is no way this guy is going to make it through a football game. But as practice went along, he got better and better and moved around at the end of it. He looked great at the end of practice on Friday.
It's the left ankle. It's a high ankle sprain, which Tom Coughlin told us is just getting all too common around here.
Yeah, well, it's not funny, but it has happened to quite a few of his players. And really, what happens when you get those high ankle sprains, the foot gets planted into the ground and the upper body gets twisted, and you sprain the ankle about 3 or 4 inches above it.
Fred Taylor is the lone back behind Brunell. And Brunell to throw his first pass of the day over the middle, has his man near the 15-yard line, and that's Keenan McCardell. 14-yard pickup and a first down. And let's go down to Armin Katayan. Armin.
You know, you talk about Mark Brunell, Greg. I spoke to him before the game. He said he was feeling pretty good right now. The operative words being right now. There is no shot, no brace. He said he's worried about this turf, though, which seems really hard, and it is really hard. Back to you.
All right, Armin, thanks. First down, Jaguars. The ball at the 16-yard line of New England. Mitchell in motion, back to the ground game. Taylor kicks his way across the 15-yard line, and about a 2-yard gain.
Now, the one thing, if you notice, Mark Brunell, when he threw that first pass, it didn't stay in the air very long. Because the one thing that happened during his couple weeks he's had off, he goes, man, I got the rest of my arm, and it's really fresh. And he, you know, is excited about throwing the football again. And again, Greg, we've seen him many times in practice, but he can really let it go. Of course, now, getting that rest, he feels fresh. Look for him to throw the ball pretty well today.
Talking to defenders for the Patriots, they have the utmost respect for Mark Brunell and his abilities. You see the Jaguars offense in the red zone this season. The pitch for Taylor. No place to go and loss of yardage back to about the 18. Lawyer Malloy helped contribute to the 3-yard loss.
Of course, when you run the football against this New England defense, you're going into the strength of their defense. 7th in the league in stopping the run. They do a good job with their defensive line of containing offensive linemen, and then people like Lawyer Malloy and Teddy Bruschi use their speed to get outside and make the tackle. New England, their defense, without question, has struggled in this situation. 3rd down passing defense, it has been horrible.
You see there, Jacksonville needs to get to the 6-yard line for a first down.
Timeout.
And now, a little confusion on the New England defensive side causes the Patriots to use their first timeout with 9:06 to play here in the first quarter. To say that Steve Sidwell was a little upset as we went to the break would be putting it mildly.
Well, every time it gets to be 3rd down, he's sitting up in the booth. He must go, oh, no, here we go again, because every week, what happens, Greg, like anything, when you struggle on 3rd down passing defense, you can expect the other teams to come out, give you more formations, and be more creative than they usually are, and the Jaguars are going to do the same thing today.
Brunell. Straight drop, time, goes for the end zone, incomplete. Keenan McCardell, his intended receiver. And the fans are looking for a penalty flag that hasn't flown.
Well, it was a good job. Now, these defensive backs have really struggled covering people down the field in 3rd downs. But this time, Mark Brunell is looking down the field. Nobody comes open and really just has to throw the ball away. Steve Israel, number 21, struggled last week against the New York Jets, but off to a good start today.
Mike Hollis, the NFL's all-time field goal leader in accuracy. 81.6%. Gets this one away from 36 yards out, and it's good. So the Jaguars, off the blocked punt, draw first blood. 8:57 to play in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. And by Staples, the office superstore.
Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan at Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville. Drew Bledsoe, a spectator again today with that pin in his right index finger. He just can't grip the football, can't throw it. This will be Colors. Drop the ball again. Picks it up at the 5. And Colors' difficulties on kickoff continue to put the Patriots in a hole. They will start inside their own 10-yard line when we come back. Last Patriots drive started at the 14. This time they start from their own 12-yard line. Edwards. Left side for 2, maybe 3 on the play. Robert Edwards, the rookie running back out of the University of Georgia. Played a little defensive back. In fact, played a lot of defensive back when he was in college.
Yeah, what's the story? Played defensive back. They say, you look like you could be a running back. I asked him, how did it go? He goes, I went over spring practice. The guy just ripped up our defense. And, well, Georgia has a pretty good history of turning out some good running backs.
2nd and 7. Edwards and Cedric Shaw are the backs now, and Edwards is in motion. Zolak under pressure and throws it away.
Well, it's interesting watching this New England offense. It really is doing exactly what Tom Coughlin and the Jaguars thought they were going to do. Kevin Hardy, number 51, having a solid season. Comes on the blitz, gets to Scott Zolak. But they expected New England to come out, Jacksonville did, try to run the football and throw a lot of short passes, and they are covered tight to the line of scrimmage because of that.
You saw Zolak almost tripped up a little bit as you look at the numbers on Kevin Hardy. 3rd and 7. This side, complete, and out of bounds. And now the officials say incomplete. Sean Jefferson with the reception. As you see, just enough yardage for the first down if he had been able to keep it in bounds.
Now, you know, when you get in situations like this, you've been backed up 2 times. What you need is for your quarterback and your wide receivers somehow come up and make a play to get that drive going. And this time, Sean Jefferson has control, both feet inbounds. It was a completion.
A completion ruled incomplete, and so Reggie Barlow is deep for the punt from Tupa. Tupa had his last one blocked. This one gets away. Low line drive. Barlow from the 35. And hit before he reaches midfield. 49-yard kick, 14-yard return, and the Jaguars with a 3-0 lead go back on offense.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM. Are you ready for e-business? And by American Express. American Express helps you do more.
And we'll remind you that terrific aerial shots like that one are being provided by the Bud One Airship Budweiser, an official sponsor of the National Football League. 4 wide receivers for Jacksonville on first down from the 49. Brunell with a bolt to the far side intended for McCardell and incomplete. So he said the Jaguars starting in good field position again. In fact, their position has been a lot better than the Patriots so far today.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty happy with that starting field position if I was the Jaguars. But that last time, 4 receivers spread out by Jacksonville, something they usually don't do on first down. There's Chris Palmer, the offensive coordinator. But again, when you watch films and you see the New England Patriots struggle with all spread formations, you've got to do it.
McCardell in motion. Brunell throws near side, and that's Damon Shelton. Shelton across midfield to about the 48.
And you know, we had a chance to talk to Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell, the 2 wide receivers for Jacksonville, and boy, they were really happy about all these formations and spreading it out and all these things, because they watch all the films too, and they see like Keyshawn Johnson and Wayne Corbett running around the field making these catches on linebackers. They go, we want to do that too.
Thunder and lightning, as they refer to themselves. You know, they're having way too much fun in this game.
I tell you, you know you're good when you can play in a tough game like this and really enjoy it.
548. On 3rd and 7, Brunell with time throws incomplete. Pete Mitchell, he had him for first down yardage, but just missed it.
Well, New England, they want to test out Mark Brunell, and he gets up limping a little now. See, he hasn't had this ankle twisted or torqued or anything like that during practice. So what they're doing, look at this, to Bucky Jones, number 34. They bring him on a blitz. They make Mark Brunell move. He shovels in the pocket pretty well, but here's where the problems will come. When he gets hit and gets moved around, how will that ankle respond to that?
Troy Brown deep for the kick for Brian Barker. And it bounces out of bounds in the vicinity of the 22 or 23-yard line. That's just a 23-yard punt. Still better field position than the New England Patriots have had so far today. Good look at Alltel Stadium as we continue wild card weekend, and we'll remind you, as Jacksonville leads at 3-0, that if Jacksonville wins here, they move on to Denver. Or New England moves to Denver if they win. Jacksonville will play the Jets if the Jaguars win. On first down, Edwards tries the left side and out across the 25-yard line before Kelvin Pritchett makes the tackle.
Well, there's what you see The New England Patriots, my big question for them today is, do they have the patience on offense just to keep running in there and make it an ugly game? I mean, because that's what it is sometimes when you try to run the football inside time after time. It's 2 yards, it's 3 yards. Try to complete the pass, keep the drive going, but somewhere down the line, you'll be rewarded for that. You make a play in the play-action passing game, or the running game will really start clicking.
Edwards in motion. Carter, the fullback, straight ahead.
Because, you know, Greg, if you're going to run the football and you want to try, what you got to be really good at is third down passing. Now Scott Zolak, it's 3rd and 3. You can do about anything. You can still run the football. He can scramble for a first down, but it brings in a lot of short, easy throws for the quarterback and the wide receivers.
Zolak, a big guy, 6'5", 235. And 5 wide receivers for the Patriots. Zolak throws incomplete. Ben Coates, his intended receiver. Zolak telling us last night he wanted to get Coates involved early in this game. That's the second pass thrown his way.
Well, I'd look for Ben Coates a lot, especially when you go to 5 wide receivers, because it's going to mean Ben Coates is one-on-one. I think he's your best inside receiver for sure. Last week, they just got him out of the game plan completely. So they need to get him going. That will really help the offense.
3 New England possessions, a total of 12 yards gained. Barlow at his own 25-yard line. And Cooper with his first decent kick of the day. Barlow to the 30 and up to about the 33-yard line. So a 12-yard return on a 49-yard kick. And we'll remind you, coming Wednesday, January the 13th, join Dan Rather, Bob Simon, Vicky Mabry, and Charlie Rose for 60 Minutes 2, the new Wednesday edition of A Sunday Tradition, coming Wednesday, January the 13th, here on CBS, America's most watched network.
Well, I think the slower the pace this game has, of course, the lower the scoring. The scoring's low, that tells you right away that New England can keep it close and has a chance to win it, but that's what they want. Just hang in there, and you kind of hope that Jacksonville's a team that makes that first big mistake.
Taylor, big hole, left side, 40, 45, midfield. Back up the middle and pulled down at about the 20-yard line. 45-yard run.
Well, this Jacksonville offense, it caught the New England defense guessing. New England was thinking, well, it's probably going to be a play-action pass. They send the safety, Lawyer Malloy, on the blitz, and look at the hole it creates for the running game. And Fred Taylor, 230 pounds, good feet, and really good straight-ahead speed. So when he gets in the open field, he can make these big runs.
And you saw number 21, Steve Israel, in on the tackle. He is the Patriot down at the 20-yard line. And, you know, neither Pete Carroll or Tom Coughlin wants to talk about injuries because they are 2 coaches who have been hit hard by them this season.
Well, you know what? They've had so much talk about the injuries, and so many injuries have happened to their teams that they won't talk about it. I mean, that's it. Okay, let's move on to something else.
Well, we'll take time out, check on Steve Israel, and come back to Jacksonville after this. Steve Israel just helped to his feet, was in on the tackle, and maybe Lawyer Malloy, his teammate, did as much damage as anyone.
Well, let's see. There he is on the tackle. The hit, and it just falls on him. You can't really tell what happens.
Well, again, we were talking about the injuries, and Tom Coughlin, he says whenever he sees the trainer coming, he doesn't want to talk to him.
He goes, oh, here he comes again. Yeah, during the game, don't even come and tell me. But he says every time we have a coaching meeting, here comes the trainer, and he says, I got to spend 30 minutes listening about all the injuries and the history of the injury. He goes, I don't care.
It used to be a 5-minute conversation, he said.
Yeah.
It's now extended to about a half an hour. Israel to the side. Chris Canty replaces him on the corner. Taylor to the 15. To about the 13.
Well, it really makes sense. If you're the Jaguars, why do you run left a lot? Well, You got this guy on the left side, number 71, Tony Boselli, who is, you know, not only one of the best pass blockers in the National Football League, number 71, but just a good, aggressive, big, athletic person. And he is just pushing Willie McGinnis out of the way. And, you know, a lot of fun to talk to, Tony Boselli and that Willie McGinnis. Now, they were freshmen together at USC, so they've had a lot of practice time against each other.
Taylor going to try the right side to about the 10 and is close to a first down.
In fact,
of Willie McGinnis, he made that tackle.
Yeah, he made the tackle. But in fact, we asked the Willie McGinnis about it last night. They're both at USC. They're freshmen together. He says the very first day they're there, they're in a pass blocking drill. They end up getting a fight. You know, they're fighting each other. But he says after the fight, we became friends after that.
Well, McGinnis gives Boselli a great deal of credit and vice versa because they were there to push each other every day in practice.
Well, you know what? There probably wasn't many offensive linemen that could block Willie McGinnis in college on his team. And the same goes for Tony Boselli. He needed to be challenged. So we had Willie McGinnis on the other side doing it to him.
And 3rd and 1, Brunell calls a timeout. Jacksonville uses its first of the day with 3:26 to play in the first quarter, and the Jaguars lead it by a field goal. Back in Jacksonville, the ball just outside the 10-yard line, and the Jaguars looking at 3rd and short. The fake to Taylor. Brunell throws first down to about the 5-yard line. And Jimmy Smith on the receiving end of that bullet.
Well, when you see a team 3rd and a couple inches to go on the 10-yard line throwing the football, that tells they're trying to score. That's the first thing they're trying to catch the defense off guard. But also, if the pass would have been incomplete, they also would have gone for it on 4th down, too.
Jimmy Smith came close to dropping that ball, recovered it right around his knees. 1st and goal, and the fumble snap. The Patriots say they got it, and the officials are saying, no, you don't. 2nd down. Again, not the kind of pileup you want to see. You want to see your quarterback with a bad ankle in.
Well, that's right. You want to keep Mark Brunell, keep as much contact you can away from him. But let's watch the snap by John Wade taking the place for Quentin New Year. So John Wade, Mark Brunell, not used to working with each other a whole lot. And that time it looked like the snap came up to the side just a little. Mark Brunell had a hard time handling it.
John Wade, 5th-round draft pick. Quick drop, Brunell throws, end zone incomplete. Had his man, it was McCardell.
Well, that was a good example of 2 passes today. Receivers have been open. Mark Brunell, not used to being in there, a little rusty. And what he does, he's a little anxious. Watch Keenan McCardell. He is wide open, but Mark Brunell, arm is fresh, a little anxious. Timing's off, just lets it go way too hard.
3rd and goal. Gonna lock the corner of the end zone, wide open, and he missed. Damon Jones, the tight end.
Well, right from the very start that time, Damon Jones, nobody even watched him, covered him from the time the ball was snapped. And what is happening every time it looks like, here comes Pete Mitchell, number 83 in motion, but watch Damon Mitchell. Here he is, or Damon Jones, I should say. Nobody picks him up. The Patriots with motion are getting confused once again near the goal line.
Hollis with a 35-yard field goal, this one from 25 yards out. Low snap, the kick is good, however. Brian Barker scooped it off the turf and set it up. And Hollis makes it a 6-0 Jacksonville lead.
Now, Greg, last time we had a chance to do, last week we did the jet game. And what happened is, down near the goal line a couple times, New England, with motion and change of formation, they blew the coverages that the Jets were running passes on. And that exact same thing happened this time. Pete Mitchell comes in motion. People start pushing. I got him, you got him. Well, nobody picked up the tight end.
So we have 2:01 to play here in the first quarter. Very slow-moving first quarter with penalties and stoppages of play.
Well, New England's got to be very happy. I mean, 3 possessions by the Jacksonville Jaguars, all in good field position, all moving down the field, and all they come away with is 6 points. That's got to be Pete Carroll talking about one of the adjustments. They got to get on defense.
Patriots finished this season 9-7. Jacksonville at 11-5, and until the last few weeks of the season looked to be in prime position for that number 2 seed in the AFC, but then injuries began to take their toll.
The players talked about it, even the coaches. They were a little disappointed when it first happened. They realized that they were going to have to win this thing through the wild card way, winning one at home and then going on the road. But now that the playoffs are finally here, they're all relieved, all excited, and let's go.
Everybody's record is 0-0. Derek Cullors, Cedric Shaw deep for the Patriots. This one, Cullors catches cleanly. 25 to about the 27 or 28-yard line. And let's go downstairs to Armin Katayan. Armin.
You know, Greg, a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned all the injuries these two teams have suffered. And overnight, the Jacksonville Jaguars got a couple of more. Cordell Taylor, a defensive back, rookie defensive back, and Tavian Banks, a rookie running back who would have played in this game, were involved in what the club officials described as a minor automobile accident on their way to their hotel about 8 o'clock last night. No further details yet on the nature of the injury or the nature of the accident. Both of them are here at this game getting x-rays and treatment, but they're definitely not going to play. Back to you.
All right, Armin. Tavian Banks was to dress today. He played in the first 6 games, then suffered a sprained foot, hasn't played since. Tupa to throw. Far side of the field, complete to Jefferson. And Jefferson out of bounds, close to a first down.
Well, that's what you want to do. Get your quarterback in rhythm. Scott Zolak, because of the crowd noise and where they've been on the football field, can't get into the flow of the football game. But Sean Jefferson on a short route, out in the flat. Good job by Scott Zolak delivering the football.
Sean Jefferson, 2 touchdown catches on the season. And wide receiver position has been a position which has really killed the Patriots this season. They lost Terry Glenn. And in fact, Troy Brown missed 6 games with an ankle.
Well, I think the big one, Greg, is they talk about it all the time. And all the teams and people around the league would agree. When you lose Terry Glenn, that's going to change your offense, because he's one of those guys who's a difference maker. I mean, he can go down the field, create big plays for your offense. He doesn't like get open. He's one of those receivers that gets wide open.
Glenn fractured an ankle on the 13th of December against St. Louis. Coming up on a minute and a half to play in the first quarter. Zolak with the give to Edwards, and Edwards with enough for the first down.
And of course, you've heard me say it. Why do you just keep running the football inside against Jacksonville's defense? Well, because most of the teams have been doing that and having success. But Jacksonville, you talk about injuries, they've been hurt the hardest inside the defensive line, playing guys in there. They're not used to standing there taking on all those blocks. And so as time goes on in each game, they seem to wear down, and that's when you have success.
As you saw, Patriots register their first down of the day. And now Zolak calls timeout with the play clock running down. And that's their second timeout here in the first half.
Well, Greg, this game is just moving right along, and it is really smooth by both teams. I mean, what's really hurt Jacksonville when I looked at the game, Mark Brunell missing those few games. Even though he's an all-pro quarterback and as good as he has missed some wide-open plays and a chance for the Jaguars to really put New England in a tough position. New England, hey, fumbling the kickoff returns, put them in bad field position in a playoff atmosphere. That's hard to overcome with a quarterback only making his 3rd start this year.
Keep in mind, Jacksonville has never beaten the New England Patriots. They've played 3 times. Once in 1996 during the regular season. New England won that one. And then the AFC Championship game of '96 won by the Patriots. And then last year, New England came here and stopped Jacksonville's 13-game home winning streak. Edwards and Chris Floyd in the backfield. Zolak far side, missed connections with Tony Simmons.
Well, even though Scott Zolak was under pressure that time, when you run those out cuts in the National Football League and the guy is wide open, which Tony Simmons was, you got to hit him. You just got to throw it in there. And, you know, talking to some of the players and the coaches for New England, they feel like playing Jacksonville was by far the best matchup in the AFC for them. They think they match up with this team very well. And in this week, the fact that they lost last week, it gives them the best chance to win.
Edwards hit in the backfield, and that'll lose yardage. Kevin Hardy.
Well, Kevin Hardy, number 51 from Illinois. Inside, here he comes. Thinking maybe it's going to be pass. He's on a blitz. Well, the running back just happened to get in my way, so he makes the tackle. But he's a speed player, and he even told us yesterday that, you know, when I'm in space, the best thing I do is just run around and make plays. And so that's what the defense does. They put him in space, let him run and make those plays.
He also said he wanted to make plays like that in order to help his emotion and the emotion of the defense on the field. Zolak, third and long this side, incomplete, 81. Tony Simmons, the intended receiver, but he was double covered out there. And Zolak now 2 out of 8 throwing on the day.
Well, they talked about let's get the ball to Ben Coates, and so far they've only had one attempt towards him. Again, that time singled up in the middle field was number big 87, and he was open.
With 3 seconds to play in the first quarter, this will be the final play of the period. Tupa's kick is a good one. Barlow inside the 10. And runs out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 52-yard punt by Tom Tupa. And the Jaguars will start deep in their own territory when we start the second quarter. 6-0 New England. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, having pitched a first quarter shutout, the Jaguars have now allowed just 6 first quarter points, 2 field goals over their last 6 games. And Brunell goes to work now at his own 16-yard line. Time down the field, and it's incomplete. Alvis Whitted, the fastest of the Jaguars.
Well, that's what he is. When Alvis Whitted, number 86, comes in the game, if you're a defensive back, you think of one thing. This guy's going to go long. And that time, Steve Israel did a terrific job. Watch number 21. He never looks up until the last second. He waits till Alvis Whitted. Now, Alvis is a rookie, and he looks up for the football, sticks those big arms out. So Steve Israel says, well, the ball's got to be coming. Swipes across his arms and knocks it down.
The pitch for Taylor, tries the right side, cuts across the 15.
Now I'm going to teach you something here, Greg.
I can't wait.
I know. You know, I got to teach you a little more about football. But could you hear Mark Brunell that time? He was saying, I think he said white opposite. Anytime you hear him say the word opposite, you know it's going to be a run. That time it was supposed to be a pitch to the left. He saw the defense didn't like it, so they turned around and made it a pitch to the right. Can you handle all that information?
What are you going to do with it? I'm writing as fast as I can, Coach.
Yeah.
3rd and 10. And for Taylor, it's a little bit short and incomplete. And now the Patriots with a chance for some field position.
You know, Mark Brunell, even though we talked about it, an all-pro, done a lot of good things in this league, he's looking for some positive reinforcement. He's trying to get going. So this time, really just right away, a little off balance, looks for the short receiver. And because of that ankle, didn't get planted the way he usually would, threw the football a lot lower. Hard to make the catch.
Barker's first punt was no great shakes. He would kick this one to Troy Brown. Brown at midfield. And that's about where he's brought down. And that'll stop the clock with 14:04 to play here in the first half. 34-yard kick by Barker.
Well, Mark Brunell, 3-week layoff, 3 for 10 for 24 yards. And what happens? Doesn't quite have that touch on the football. Overthrows a wide open touchdown to Keenan McCardell. And then Damon Jones wide open. Overthrows that too.
And now the Patriots with their best starting position of the day by far at the Jacksonville 49. And Zolak to throw. Has it batted back into his face by number 96, Fernando Smith.
Well, Greg, they listened to you last time. That time they cleared it out down the middle of the field. They're letting Ben Coates one-on-one. He is open. Scott Zolak sees him, going to throw it to him, but the ball is batted down.
Here we have a tale of two quarterbacks where, as you take a look at the numbers and stats on Fernando Smith, Mark Brunell still fighting off a little bit of rustiness from three-game layoff. Scott Zolak, though, is missing some passes that he should be hitting here today.
Last week, he didn't really have a chance. Today, the receivers have been open. The plays are there to be made, but he hasn't done it so far.
Edwards with maybe a yard on the right side.
And see, the way they played the game, it's worked out well for them. They held the Jaguars to 6 points when it could have been more. But now you got that opportunity. You're at midfield. This is when you got to make it happen on offense. You got to pull out that special play, or as a quarterback, you got to be tougher. You got to hang in there. You got to do whatever it is to make this play on third down, which they haven't done today so far.
New England averaging just 1.5 yards per play today. And Zolak out of the shotgun on 3rd and 9. Gonna go deep. Far side. And incomplete. The rookie, Tony Simmons. And Dion Figures was there with the cover.
Well, if you have seen the New England Patriots play the last couple of weeks, Scott Zolak, the quarterback, when in doubt, this is what he likes to do. Just throw the bomb. Lay it up high and as far as you can and let your receivers have a chance to make the catch down the field. That time, ball out of bounds. Tony Simmons had no chance.
So the Patriots don't get to do much with that field position, and already Tupa with his 5th punt of the day. Barlow. And it's batted back in, and now into the end zone for the touchback. To Bucky Jones was the one who had the first hand on it. And the Patriots came that close to having the Jaguars boxed into their own end zone. Back at Alltel Stadium, an excitable crowd, although, to be fair, they haven't had a whole lot to get excited about.
They're like, come
Not
on,
yet, anyway.
I'm waiting. Make me cheer.
First down, Jaguars from the 20-yard line. Brunell straight drop, going to go down the sideline. Jimmy Smith incomplete, and Ty Law was right there with him. Ty Law, the NFL's interception leader this season with 9 picks.
Well, this is the guy, Jimmy Smith, number 82, loves to go long. That's what he does for this offense. He stretches it out. And Ty Law, that's a matchup you're going to see all day. We asked Pete Carroll last night about it. He says, I think you could see Ty Law and Jimmy Smith one-on-one quite a bit today.
Ty Law always draws the deep, dangerous guy on the other side. Taylor. About 5 to about the 25-yard line. I want to remind you the Budweiser blimp and its eye in the sky camera are proud to provide you with these live shots 1,000 feet above Alltel Stadium today. Nice little airship there, Phil.
Yeah, Paul McGuire, he's the captain of that ship. He's driving it today.
The owner.
Yeah.
3rd and 5 for the Jaguars. To this side, and McCardell had it, and it falls incomplete before Ty Law could pick it off. And so it's another 3-and-out series. We've seen a few here so far today.
Well, we've seen them in the New England Patriots. They had to be coming into this game with not a lot of confidence in their third down pass defense, but now they're getting that confidence because the Jaguars are having a hard time getting open, and when they do, the quarterback and receiver, they can't connect.
Brian Barker averaging less than 30 yards a kick in his 2 previous tries. This one will be better. Troy Brown inside the 20. and not much further. Terrific special teams coverage by the Jaguars after a 56-yard punt. Eddie Mason and Aaron Beasley made the tackle. Jacksonville with a 6-0 lead on the Patriots and 12 minutes exactly to play. We'll remind you, coming up at halftime, we'll be sending you to our New York studio for the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim, Marcus, Brent, and Mike with first half highlights and all the playoff news coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. And that's no gain for Robert Edwards. Patriots have been nothing on offense. 4 of those 5 possessions have been 3 and out. Not quite what Pete Carroll envisioned when he hit town.
Well, you know, but right now he's got to be happy, and I think the big thing for this offense, you know, last time they had a chance to make something happen. When you're in this position, just make sure you don't make a mistake, because you can see the flow of the game is definitely not dynamic, so don't try to force the issue.
2nd and 10. Zolak connects with Troy Brown. And Brown close to the 30. It's about a 6-yard pickup.
You know, Greg, we got to talk about, you talked about the halftime report and everything, but I just want to send along my congratulations to George Seifert. You know, going down to Carolina, and hey, history says he's going to do a pretty good job there, but that's what he's done. But it also goes to show you, some people will do anything to get away from Brent Jones and Marcus Allen. So, I mean, he had a nice cushy job. Now he's going to go down there and have to work his tail off.
That's right. Yeah. Congratulations, Coach. 3rd and 3. Cedric Shaw in as one of the 5 wide receivers for New England. This side in and out of the hands of Tony Simmons. So when Zolak starts to zero in on his receivers, they don't hold on.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few balls today now, footballs thrown, where they've had a chance to make the catch. Now, Tony Simmons, number 81, it's not a perfect throw, but come on, reach down in there and grab that ball. And Scott Zolak, come on, somebody help me out a little here.
And once again, the Patriots are 3 and out. Low, bouncing, Barlow tries to split the defense and is horse collared at about the 32-yard line. So Tupa walks off the field after a 45-yard punt. 10:19 to play here in the first half. A couple of days ago, it was Georgia Tech knocking off Notre Dame, and now it's Jacksonville and New England. Welcome back to Alltel Stadium. And Mark Brunell goes back to work, and he's trying to find some consistency and some touch throwing the football. Gives to Taylor. Left side, and not a whole lot there. 3, maybe 4 yards.
You know, Craig, what we're seeing from both teams, we're seeing 2 teams that have a lot of injury problems, but also at the end of the year were very inconsistent and came into the game with a lot of question marks. Even though it's a playoff game, it's not like all of a sudden, oh, it's a playoff game, we're going to play our best. You know, they struggled, both of them at the end of the year, so it makes reason to think that they're going to struggle a little bit today.
Taylor again, left side. Talking to Taylor, you couldn't help but notice, and you have pointed out numerous times, how much he reminds us of Terrell Davis in Denver.
Well, you know, a lot of the same size, the same look, kind of has the same running style, and you look at him, you think, well, Fred Taylor, he's not that big of a guy. 230 pounds. You know, he runs hard, and you've already seen today, when he gets in the open field, has that speed to take a 20-yard running play and turn it into a 60 or 70-yard running play.
CBS first down marker tells you how far the Jaguars have to go. And now, Brunell moves under center. Has his man first down and complete to Keenan McCardell. Well, I think the fans are happy to see a first down, personally.
I think they cheer for either team right now if they got a first down. But Mark Brunell, that was a good job. He went underneath the center that time to take the snap because it made him get into rhythm, made it easier to throw that short pass out to his left. You know, you were talking about Fred Taylor, though. Rookie coming in this league, running all he has, had such a good year. Did you notice in our meeting with him, he had bandages everywhere on him.
to throw it. And throws, and Phil Simms is the closest guy to that ball. You were closer to that ball than any Jaguars receiver.
I would have caught it, though. But, you know, hey, but yesterday when we were talking to Fred Taylor, no, I should say on Friday, though, Greg, did you know his right arm had a big bandage on it? I said, what's that for? Well, the bursa sac broke in my right elbow, and it really swells up. And I said, well, what's on your left arm? Well, my left arm's just swollen and bruised, and it really hurts. And, you know, when you play in this league for your first time, 16 games, and you run the ball, you're going to get beat up.
Taylor going to take it the opposite way, midfield. Out of bounds, just across the 35-yard line of the New England Patriots. 21-yard pickup and a first down for the Jaguars.
Well, I think you can see that time what he can do. He's going to his right, but immediately doesn't like it and just stops, doesn't hesitate, comes back to the side, and you can see the speed and able to change directions and like keep moving forward. Makes it really hard for defensive backs to zero in on him and make those tackles.
Fred Taylor coming up on 100 yards rushing. We still have 7:55 to play here in the first half. Chris Howard is now onto the field to replace Taylor, who gets a breather. Brunell with time, throws on the button, complete to McCardell. That's enough for a first down, close to the New England 20. 14 yards on the play.
Well, Greg, you can see Mark Brunell kind of getting in the groove now, hit that third down pass, and that play, man, he just threw it in there, felt confident, got in rhythm. Watch this little hop and nice follow through, and puts the ball right on target for Keenan McCardell.
So the Jaguars' little offense going. Fred Taylor back in action for a couple. Ferrick Collins with the tackle.
Well, the Jaguars like to run the ball to the left most of the time. Just look at the left side. See Ben Coleman making the block. Damon Shelton trying to get in there and find somebody to knock down. They clear everybody out. They make the linebackers for the New England Patriots make the tackle.
You know, you talked about how beat up Fred Taylor is feeling, but you make a good point. Rookies aren't used to playing this many football games.
Most pros aren't either.
2nd and 7, quick drop, quick throw, complete and out of bounds to Jimmy Smith. That's short of the first down by a couple of yards.
Well, that was a good throw and catch by Mark Brunell. Look at the cushion. Ty Law, number 24, plays it right, but look at how quick he closes on that. It takes a perfect throw from the quarterback to the receiver when Ty Law is waiting to drop with the quarterback.
Look at Brunell's numbers as he looks at 3rd and 2 now. The ball at the 13-yard line. Taylor, first down and more. Touchdown. And now the Patriots arguing that maybe he stepped out of bounds on the far side. The officials say no.
Watch Leon Searcy, number 72, comes around and makes the block on Teddy Bruschi that lets Fred Taylor go into the end zone. Leon Searcy coming from the right tackle position, pulls all the way around and makes the tackle on the left side.
And now the Jaguars will go for 2 with a 12-0 lead. They're 1 for 2 this season. Taylor won't get there. Tried to stop and go, but couldn't get around Henry Thomas. Let's go back to the touchdown run and some pretty nice stepping for a 230-pound guy.
Well, it is. A lot of things you see on that play. The speed of Fred Taylor coming across the formation on 3rd and 2. The blocking down field by Jimmy Smith. And then Tony Placelli, number 71. He acts like it's a running play, and boy, just throws that club on the pass rusher. Helps open the hole up for Fred Taylor. Look at that. Now that's a pair of arms, Greg. See, I don't know whether his arms are that big or those shoulder pads are just that small.
That's a pair of arms on each shoulder.
Yeah, that's right. But look at those shoulder pads. He has the exact same size shoulder pads that Mike Hollis, the kicker, has. See, I think if you put those shoulder pads on you, you look like you have big arms too. Well, Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Let's not get carried away.
But I guess when you're that big, you don't really need a lot of protection up top.
Tony is looking to wear just as little jersey as he can get.
Well, he thinks he's one of those wide receivers. You know, they don't wear those. They wear those little pads. No pads in their pants. They want to look sleek. Well, Tony looking sleek ain't working.
Hey, something works for him.
I mean, look at this. That jersey, it's got a big hole in the back. But you're right.
12-0 Jaguars lead. 9-play, 68-yard drive. This kick is short, and it's Cedric Shaw. Shaw up across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Fred Taylor with a well-deserved rest on the sideline. Here's a guy who says, you know, he never broke long runs when he was in college at Florida. His longest was 66.
Well, Steve Spurrier didn't hand it to him enough. That's why.
Good point. First down from the 31. Zolak with a little screen for Edwards. Edwards with blockers in front. 40, 45, lost the football. Jacksonville ball.
Well, we kind of saw this yesterday. If you watched the Buffalo and Miami game, sometimes even when the other team is making a play, if you're hustling and just keep going after the football, good things can happen. This time, Jacksonville, they're completely fooled. It's a screenplay. Look, everybody going after the quarterback. Robert Edwards fumbled last week. This time, really not. John Yurkovich from behind strips the ball from him. Look at big number 64 hustling down the field. Helps get on the hit, and Brian Swartz, number 58, is what caused the fumble.
Aaron Beasley, number 21, covering for the Jaguars, who take over now at their own 49-yard line. Brunell down the middle, complete inside the 35 to Keenan McCardell. That's a pretty good toss.
Well, that's the one thing you notice about this Jacksonville team. No matter who the quarterback is, they are going to get the football down the field. Right down the middle, you see Keenan McCardell, and look at the strength of Mark Brunell's arm as he throws it in between three defenders.
Just like that, the Jaguars move to the Patriot 32. Back to work with Taylor, and Taylor has nothing on the left side that time. Derek Pollins, Chad Eaton with the penetration into the backfield.
You know, you talk about Mark Brunell and how well he's thrown it. Look at Mike Ryan, the trainer for the Jaguars. Look at that right hand. So his job, while Mark Brunell was out, to work him out, keep him in shape, things like that. So since he couldn't run, they throw the football every once in a while. And you heard Mark Brunell talk about how fresh his arm is. Well, Mike Ryan, the trainer, found out
the hard way. Brunell throws complete. That's Damon Jones, and Jones inside the 30 to about the 27.
Well, they're working out one day, and Mike's over there catching the passes, and all of a sudden, you know, the balls they're coming pretty fast and hard. He reaches up there, and that right hand gets caught, and he fractures his little finger in 3 different places. After practice, he tells Tom Coughlin, you know, it's on a Saturday, my finger, I think it's hurt. They take him to the hospital. Tom goes, well, go get it looked at, get it taken care of, and be back in here tomorrow morning at 6:30. So he went and had surgery on a Saturday afternoon, back at work Sunday at 6:30 in the morning.
There's no free time with Tom Coughlin. Brunell. McCardell complete, and then takes a lick, but has enough for the first down.
Well, you can really sense the difference in this passing game. That last drive just gave him confidence, and it gave Mark Brunell, it finally got him over that mental block he was having about his ankle. He's just forgetting about it, and he's just dropping back and letting the football go. And again, you can see the strength and the accuracy he has when he throws the football.
5 straight completions now for Brunell to give it to Taylor. And Taylor, nothing again on the left side.
I guess it kind of reminds us of practice, you know, on Friday. We watched him, and Brunell really started out slow, But as practice went along, at the end of it, you forgot that he had a bad ankle because he looked so sharp.
You said it earlier. At the start of practice, he hobbled and limped so much, we thought, oh, there's just no way he's going to.
Jonathan, loosen up. Jonathan Quinn, the backup quarterback, you're going to be coming in. But he told us it takes a while for it to loosen up and really feel where he didn't have to worry about it anymore.
2nd and 13. Brunell under the gun, throws it away before he takes the sack, and now the penalty marker down in the backfield. Looks like it'll be an intentional grounding call.
Well, it should be. One of the reasons why it will be intentional grounding is that he was inside the tight end box.
Ron Blum is our official today.
So that means from the tight end to the right, if there's a tight end on the left, if you're inside that and throw it away, it is intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding. 8 offense. Loss of down. 3rd down.
Henry Thomas and Teddy Bruschi were the guys in on Brunell.
Well, it would be from right here to this side. That's the box that Mark Brunell, if he stays inside that, then you know he is inside and he just throws the ball out of bounds. Good call.
3rd and 28. They need to go to the 10-yard line for a first down. Brunell has a man downfield. It is incomplete. Reggie Barlow was open for a couple of seconds behind the secondary.
Well, see, in this situation, what happens, it's 3rd and long. A lot of times on defense, you're expecting the offense just try to pick up a couple yards to get that field goal attempt. But to Bucky Jones, looks like, watching number 34, gets to the receiver and hits him definitely before the ball gets there.
No flag. Barker to punt. Saved inside the 5-yard line on a great play by it's a touchback. Reggie Barlow appeared to make the play. The official says no.
Well, Reggie Barlow, number 84, he knows he's near the goal line. He's not in. Oh, and then, hey, right on the spot. Good call.
And there is a penalty marker down on the far side of the field. And we have a conference of officials at about the 15-yard line. There are far too many players in on these conferences.
Yeah,
Bill.
that's right. Well, we talked about this earlier, Greg. They're going to have to pass a rule in the National Football League to make players stay away from the officials, because it just delays the action, draws it out, and takes them way too much time in, making their calls to the fans and the people at home.
Here's Ron Blum.
12 men on defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 4th down.
Tante Scarnecchia, the special teams coach for the Patriots. Some things you just can't tolerate, and that's one of them. Having 12 people on the field at one time, players not knowing who's supposed to be out there in situations.
So now Tom Coughlin is sending Mark Brunell back onto the field.
Well, you either go for it or you kick a long field goal. I would think they would try the long field goal.
Wow. This is 4th and 22.
Well, maybe it's that last play, the 3rd down play, where we saw the long pass for Reggie Barlow. Keenan McCardell was wide open down the middle of the field too, so maybe they saw something on defense. They want to try to take advantage of it.
Well, Barlow is to the near side of the field. Smith and McCardell to the top of your screen. Brunell steps up, throws, incomplete. Intended for Barlow again, and to Bucky Jones was there again, the rookie from Syracuse.
I'm just trying to figure out the decision why you'd want to go for it on 4th and 22 in this situation. Either try the long field goal or punt it back down in there and try to get to inside the 20-yard line. That time, Mark Brunell moves around, buys himself some extra time, but the ball's just got to travel down the field too far to try to get a completion.
So New England takes over with decent field position now at their own 32-yard line, and 2:10 to play here in the first half, trying to do something about this shutout. Zolak, far side, Colors out to about the 35, a pickup of about 3 on the play. Going back to the decision, Phil, it would have been right around a 50-yard field goal by Mike Hollis, whose long this year is 47. 2-minute warning here at Alltel Stadium. Tom Coughlin and the Jaguars lead it by 12. Coming up at halftime, the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, Mike Lombardi will have first half highlights and I'm sure some retort to your comment about George Seifert having to get away from them. Plus all the playoff news. It's coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report.
Now, why would they do that?
Because it's there. 2 minutes to play. Huge disparity in total yards here in the first half. Scott Zolak trying to get something started. 2nd and 6. Quick pass over the middle. Incomplete. Troy Brown had it go off his hand.
Well, again, there's the play to be made. Troy Brown wide open. Scott Zolak just can't get it going throwing the football.
There's Drew Bledsoe.
Well, Drew Bledsoe still growing that beard. What do you say, Greg?
Doing a fine job of it, too, isn't he? Patriots have not made a 3rd down conversion yet today. They've made one now. Ben Coates to midfield, and that's a first down for New England. And a penalty marker down. And it's going to be against New England. Scratch that 3rd down conversion.
Well, I was going to say, you know, they finally got something going. You finally get it to the guy you want to. Ben Coates, one-on-one with Dave Thomas. He gets open, good throw, and then Scott Zolak looks around, sees the penalty flag, and goes, oh, not again.
Well, for Scott Zolak, he'd like to shine. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season.
Well, you know, that's what you do as a backup quarterback in this league.
Personal foul, illegal chop block. Number 64 offense, 15 yards, repeat 3rd down.
That's the center, Dave Wollabaugh.
Well, what happened is Dave Wollabaugh, when one of the pass rushers engaged, he went down below the waist, hit the pass rusher at the knee. You're not allowed to do that because it's a rule, a good rule to try to protect, you know, the defensive lineman when they're rushing the quarterback.
So now New England, instead of a first down at midfield, looks at 3rd and 21 from their own 21-yard line. Zolak misfires over the middle. Cedric Shaw was the man there.
Well, just another example of the little things that happen when your starting quarterback is out. I mean, even the simplest things that you take for granted. You know, when you haven't worked with each other enough, right then, Cedric Shaw wide open in the middle of the field, right in front of the quarterback. Scott Zolak thinks he's going to move. He doesn't. Another incomplete pass.
8 Patriots drives now. 7 of them ending in punts. 1 of them in a turnover. Tupa to kick to Barlow. And a terrific kick by Tupa. Chases Barlow back to his own 21. Back to the 30. To about the 32-yard line. And a 58-yard kick by Tupa. And let's take a look at the CBS Sports Line question of the week. Which team did you expect to make the playoffs but did not? Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Washington. Log on to vote at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online at keyword CBS Sportsline.
How about all the above?
Yeah. I mean, a couple of preseason Super Bowl favorites on that list. Pete Carroll with some decision making to do. Some strategy playing at halftime. flags, a few jumps.
Could have been John Wade, the center, number 66. He heard Mark Brunell yelling out the...
Prior to the snap, false start, 66 offense, illegal snap, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Rookie John Wade.
He heard Mark Brunell changing the pass protection, so it, you know, made him hesitate just for a second. Started leaning backwards.
On 1st and 15, Taylor. And Taylor across the 35-yard line has had a terrific first half.
Jacksonville still has 2 timeouts left. Plenty of time, a minute 21 to go in the first half. Always a good thing to do, starting to drive in a 2-minute situation. Run the draw play.
Brunell on the slant, complete. McCardo, and that is enough for a first down near midfield. 13-yard pickup.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Mark Brunell has warmed up. He's got it going, and he is back in rhythm and throwing the football exceptionally well right now.
And Jacksonville uses its second timeout to stop the clock with 65 seconds left here in the first half.
Now Pete Carroll on the other side is going, now we've had that. We just can't make, we can't make the throw, and we do, we can't catch it. And the big thing for Pete Carroll, if he could probably make a change at quarterback at halftime, I think he would. But, you know, his backup quarterback is Tom Tupa, who's the punter, and I'm sure Tom Tupa's not getting many snaps during the week.
210 total yards here in the first half by the Jaguars, and yet to 54 for the Patriots. But as you look at 210 total yards, 12 points isn't a lot of points to have on the board.
Well, I don't know. Have you watched this offense today? That's a New England's. 12's a lot to them.
On first down, blitz throws complete to Jimmy Smith. That'll be a pickup of about 2.
Still have 1 timeout left. Still plenty of time. The main goal here for the Jacksonville offense is just to get down in position to give yourself a chance to kick the field goal.
Brunell lost the handle, lost it again, and now just falls to the turf.
Well, it's a draw play by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Mark Brunell looking to hand this ball off. Watch it, the snap. Takes his eyes off it just for a second, then he goes, oh no, now I got to run it. Bad ankle and all.
So Jacksonville uses its last timeout to stop the clock with 34 seconds to play, and Brunell now looking at a 3rd and 9. He has been the spark plug for this Jacksonville franchise. He and Tom Coughlin, as we mentioned at the very top of the day, 4 years in existence, 3 times now to the postseason.
And of course, very fortunate to be here, really. I mean, Tom Coughlin, he's just got to look up. He's got to say at night sometimes, how lucky can I be? He thinks Mark Brunell's at Green Bay, going to be traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. He knows he has no chance. He's looking around one day and go, why hasn't that deal happened? He makes a phone call to Ron Wolf, the general manager for the Packers. He says, call the agent, there's a problem. Of course, Tom Coughlin, we all know about him. He calls, like that, he makes a deal. Mark Brunell plays for the Jaguars instead of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Out of timeouts now. Brunell throws down the field, incomplete, and the penalty marker flies. And Brunell gets up, limping on that ankle. Reggie Barlow, the intended receiver to Bucky Jones, hit him with the ball in the air.
Let's see what they call that time. The ball was overthrown, and when Reggie Barlow turned around to go for it, to Bucky Jones was behind him, stopped him from going to try to make the catch on the football.
Pete Carroll arguing that the ball was uncatchable.
36 defense, first down.
You know what? It is a good argument. The ball was not catchable, but at the same time, it did not. Why they threw the penalty flag to Bucky Jones kept Reggie Barlow from turning and running towards it.
From the 34 now with 28 seconds on the clock. Brunell with time and now runs out of time. Hit by Greg Spires in the backfield. Loss of 5 on the play. Clock continues to move at 20 seconds.
Now you just got to kill the ball. That's what he's going to do. Kill the clock. Get everybody lined up. And now penalty flag. Everybody wasn't set. You got 15 seconds.
And that'll back the Jaguars up 5 more.
And
prior to the snap, false start on the snapper, number 66. This penalty also includes a 10-second runoff. Please set the clock to 5 seconds, and on the umpire's signal, start both the game clock and the play clock. Set the play clock on 25.
that's what happens when you're out of timeouts, and that happens. You have the legal procedure. They're going to run 10 seconds off the game clock for you.
Well, the rookie John Wade has just had himself an interesting first half. This will now be the final play here in the first half, and Brunell can't escape the rush. He'll go down in the backfield, and that'll end the first half. Brunell walks off limping, but with the lead. Our halftime score, Jacksonville 12, New England nothing. We'll be sending you to New York on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim Nance and company getting you caught up on the highlights and all the playoff news after these words from your local station.
Hi, everybody. Jim Nance with you. NASDAQ Amex halftime report from the CBS Broadcast Center, along with Brent, Michael, and Marcus. And at the half, Jacksonville leading 12-0. That anemic New England offense with only 1 first down, 54 total yards. And, Brent, you get the feeling if Brunell was really 100% early, this could have been a blowout already.
Jim, it's very apparent that high ankle sprain that Mark Brunell has is really bothering him. It's really affecting his passing, his timing. As you go into the first quarter here, you're going to see an opportunity for him to make a touchdown pass. He got a great route by the tight end. Running a scissor route. They're going to actually pick one of the linebackers here. Damon Jones is going to be wide open in the corner of the end zone. Mark Brunell, not a whole lot of pressure here. All he has to do is step up, throw the ball on a line. You're going to see that ankle bothering him. He ends up throwing off his back foot, just kind of falling away, not getting his body into it, throws the ball out of the end zone. Not only that, Jim, he's come up short on a couple of long passes, had a couple chances to scramble out of the pocket, hasn't done it. It's really affecting his passes. This game could be completely a Jacksonville runaway right now.
Ankle sprain exposed there. How many times out of 10 does he complete that pass?
10 out of 10, I'd say.
10. What about the second half, Michael? What does New England have to do to get back into it?
Well, New England at halftime is going to have to find a way to get safe passes on first down and stay out of these third and longs because Scott Zolak can't execute. Obviously, only 1 first down. The key is going to be for New England is play great defense the second half opening drive because if Jacksonville scores there, it's all over for New England.
Yeah, Jacksonville moving the ball up and down the field, Jim, but just have to play better in the scoring area. I mean, they have opportunities, 3 opportunities only cashed in 1 time.
All right, Marcus, next on CBS Sports, the road to the Final Four continues when the Fighting Illini take on Bob Knight's 8th-ranked Indiana Hoosiers in a Big Ten battle. And with the college football season coming to an end, it's time for NASDAQ Amex to present their Scholar Athlete of the Year award.
On behalf of the NASDAQ Amex, it's with great pleasure that I present this check for $5,000 to the University of Georgia in honor of Matt Stinchcomb, NASDAQ Amex Scholar Athlete of the Year. By achieving an outstanding academic record, a success of even greater magnitude than athletics alone, Matt Stinchcomb is preparing for competition in an even bigger arena, the game of life. Matt, you've set a tremendous example for others to follow. We at NASDAQ Amex salute you. Congratulations and best of luck.
Well, thank you very much. First, I'd like to thank NASDAQ Amex for the recognition and also for their generosity and the contribution to our school's general scholarship fund. I'm sure it will provide a great opportunity to other students.
Congratulations to Matt. Next up, Michael Lombardi takes us inside the league for his take on the coaching version of musical chairs when the NASDAQ Amex halftime report continues on CBS right after this. Taylor over 100, and this run set up a field goal. To the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Time now for our weekly journey inside the league with Michael. And Michael, as we reported earlier on the NFL Today, CBS Sports has learned that our colleague George Seifert will become the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. The announcement tomorrow. He becomes now the first to fill a slot out of the magnificent 7 coaching vacancies. And nice accompanying music right there. What about George's staff in Carolina? What do you expect?
Well, he's going to have to take some time. Ray Rhodes, the ex-Eagle head coach, certainly be a candidate for his defense coordinator, but he's a candidate stayed in Seattle and potentially in Green Bay if Mike Holmgren were to leave. So also Pete Carroll, whose team's not playing very well in the first half, his job's in jeopardy. If he were to come available, George certainly would want to look to him.
Of course, George was on just about every head coaching list. This is the first piece to the puzzle. Why was it such a perfect fit for Jerry Richardson, the owner down there?
Well, I think it was a marriage made in heaven. Jerry Richardson got a quality defensive coach who can build a great program, and also he got him now. He didn't have to wait any longer for what was going to develop in the Mike Holmgren situation.
And Pete Carroll, New England, what's the possible situation at the Patriots if Carroll is out?
Well, if Pete Carroll were to lose his job, I would look for Bob Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, to look at Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator of the New York Jets, and Chris Palmer, the offensive coordinator today in the game. Both guys worked at New England. Bob Kraft knows them very well.
And what's the latest on San Diego with their vacancy?
San Diego's got 3 guys that they're interested in. Marty Mortering, the offensive coordinator of San Francisco. Mike Riley, the head coach of Oregon State. They've already talked to him. And our own Terry Donahue, certainly a candidate. They expect to make announcements sometime next week.
Another hot name still out there is Brian Billick, the offensive coordinator of Minnesota Vikings. What's the latest with Brian?
Brian Billick interviewed in Cleveland this week. His name's mentioned all over. He would love to have the Seattle job. Baltimore's got him #1 on their list. And I'll tell you what, Jim, if he were to go to Baltimore, look for them to potentially trade for Brad Johnson, because wherever Brian Billick ends up, Brad Johnson's not going to be too far behind.
With Randall so solid now, Brad Johnson to go with Billick. Hey, we've lost George Seifert. You're talking about Terry Donahue, maybe down at San Diego, and now another broadcaster yet, maybe going over back to the pro football side behind the ranks, huh?
You know, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Detroit might be looking for a general manager. Well, they are. Matt Millen, the Fox announcer, he interviewed this week with William Clay Ford. I talked to some people, and he talked to them. He's going to make a decision sometime next week whether he's going to get in that side of the game of football, and certainly they would love to have him.
So maybe Matt Millen to the Lions. All right, thank you, Mike. Later on the post-game show, we're going to have interviews from the Patriots-Jags game, plus a report on the 49ers-Packers NFC wildcard game. Randy Cross is there, and we're hearing back that Garrison Hurst, although it's going to be a game-time decision, the word around the locker room right now is he's expected to play. We'll have all the latest playoff news as well. But we're going to rejoin Greg and Phil for the second half after this word from your local station. One more look at the one touchdown of the game. Brent Taylor.
Sports presentation of the NASDAQ Amex halftime report is sponsored by the NASDAQ Amex Market Group, the market of markets.
Stadium in Jacksonville, our halftime score, the Jaguars leading New England by a score of 12-0. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. We were just talking, this may be the ugliest half of football we have seen all season long, and this is the postseason. It's not supposed to happen this way.
Yeah, you know, I got to disagree. It is the ugliest half of football we've seen all year. Look, the opportunities were there for both teams. They couldn't make the plays. New England, the offense, believe me, there were plays there to be had. They just couldn't execute them. If I'm Pete Carroll, I say, well, maybe they will, but I can't take that chance. I'm going to let my defense be a little more aggressive. They've had a little success coming after Mark Brunell, and it looks like Mark Brunell, the ankle is starting to bother him a little, so maybe you can make that Jaguar offense make a mistake.
Well, the halftime stats will tell you exactly how ineffective the New England Patriots were. Just 1 first down in the first half for New England. Third down conversions, 0 for 7, and they had the ball about 9 minutes less.
Well, no continuity by the New England offense. When you don't convert on third down, you know, of course, what's that mean? You're stopping every drive you got, and that's what they've done so far. But again, Greg, the opportunities are there. Scott Zolak's got to settle down and make a few plays when the receivers are open down the field.
And he missed some plays, and his receivers dropped some balls when the ball was there. The Jaguars will get the ball to start the second half. Reggie Barlow, 84. Alvis Whitted, 86, are deep. This is Barlow. 25. And upended just short of the 30-yard line. What were the coaches thinking? Let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Greg, as you talked about those halftime stats and Scott Zolak, and talked to Pete Carroll, he said, we just got to move the ball and get some first downs. The obvious, Scott is really struggling. And Phil, in answer to your question about Tom Coughlin, why he threw that pass instead of punting or trying to kick a field goal, he said we were going into this swirling wind too far for the field goal. He thought we could complete a pass inside the 20 just as good as a punt. He didn't want to fool around with that wind. Back to you, Greg.
Thanks, Armin. First down at the 30-yard line. Fred Taylor back to work. Reverses direction across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. How'd these quarterbacks fare in the first half? Well, Brunell throwing the ball much better, had better results. But as we said, Zolak missed a couple of open receivers, and then at times when he did throw the ball well. His receivers were dropping.
Well, Mark Brunell got off to a slow start, but hit some big plays to drive him down the field and give him some scoring opportunities. And Scott Zolak, Greg, like you say, never got in with him.
Brunell throws it this way, incomplete. Penalty marker flies. And Keenan McCardell drew the coverage from Lawyer Malloy, and it may be Malloy the guilty party. It will go against the Patriots, and it's not the way Pete Carroll wanted to start this second half.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Number 21 defense, 5 yards. First down, Jacksonville.
It is Steve Israel and not Lawyer Malloy.
Well, Greg, right away, the first passing opportunity that the Jaguars go into, New England thinks they're going to throw the ball. They blitz. They try to get after Mark Brunell. People are coming free when New England's blitzing on this Jacksonville offense. So maybe you keep taking those chances. You make the Jaguars make that mistake.
Brunell throws and overthrows his intended receiver, Damon Jones.
Well, again, put pressure on the quarterback. Mark Brunell, every time he gets hit, he really gets up limping. And, you know, anytime your feet, we talked about how you get these high ankle sprains. When you're planted in the ground and somebody hits you, makes your upper body twist. But here's a blitz by Willie Clay. It's picked up by Brian DeMarco. And then Willie McGinnis comes free, lays the hit on Mark Brunell.
2nd and 10 from the 37. Taylor. And he is wrapped up after just a few steps.
You know, you look at Willie McGinnis on that last play, much more active in this game than he was last week against the New York Jets. Last week was the first time he had a chance to play and have some extended action in quite a while. And he said last week was just, you know, I was just testing it. This week I'm going to let it go because it's the playoffs. It could be the last game. And he feels a little bit better. What did he say? I'm about 90%.
90.
And this defense needs for him to step up and make those big plays.
Brunell from the shotgun. Throws it to the outside and incomplete under tremendous rush up the middle. Jimmy Smith was his intended receiver, and again, Brunell gets up off the ground.
Now the defense, what a good first series they had. They pressured the quarterback every single time. Again, Steve Israel coming down from the bottom, a little blitz, just trying to confuse the Jacksonville offensive lineman who to pick up. They get to the quarterback. Now the defense leaves the field and they go, come on offense, do something over there. They do that, Greg.
They do.
They yell at you.
I hear you. Barker. Troy Brown inside his 10. And is cut down before he gets to the 15-yard line. 55-yard punt. Will Moore with the big tackle for Jacksonville.
Look at Mark Brunell's left ankle as he just tries to hand the ball off on a running play. You can tell it is really starting to hurt him. Can't get up on his toes at all to push off.
And the first play is a running play for the New England Patriots. And during that timeout, Jonathan Quinn, who has started the last 3 games, was loosening up with a purpose on the sideline.
Oh, yeah, and his heart just sped up about 50 beats, you know, per minute. But Jonathan Quinn, you know, Mark Brunell, I think, had a good line about Jonathan Quinn. He knew that Mark Brunell was going to start this week, and he took a big breath and a sigh of relief, and he goes, I'm just glad I finished on a high note. You know, he beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on a Monday night game. And
Edwards tries the right side, and not much there. Coming up from the secondary, Donovan Darius, the rookie out of Syracuse.
Well, probably the most disheartening thing that's happened to the New England Patriots in the first half, besides the fact, well, they didn't do anything very well on offense, but at least they expected to be able to do this. Hand the ball off and run at this Jacksonville defense and have some success.
Darius and Kevin Hardy making the hit. And the Patriots, boy, look at 9.9, the average yardage to make on 3rd down.
Well, that's the big thing. That's why they get a lot of those zeros. When you got to go far on 3rd down, it's hard to pick up in the National Football League.
Zolak has a man complete, first down to Troy Brown. 12 yards and a first down. Boy, did the Patriots need that one.
Well, they did. I mean, this will make a lot of people feel a lot better for New England. But Troy Brown, that's a good job. Do you see how he went up the field, made a little move to the outside, and then made a quick cut inside, created separation between the defensive back and him. Scott Zolak finally has an easy completion.
Only their second first down of the game. Zolak goes back to the air. Quick toss this side. Tony Simmons. And Simmons pushed out of bounds past the 40 to about the 42-yard line. That'll be enough for another first down.
Well, this is a good job between Scott Zolak and Tony Simmons. Look, Chris Hudson's going to come. Nobody gets there. Well, the back sees him coming, but Scott Zolak, he's not sure, so he makes the adjustment, throws the ball quickly to Tony Simmons. They pick up another first down.
So in the first half, 1 first down. Zolak picks up 2 here in the third quarter. Edwards. Not much on the right side, maybe a yard.
Now, you know what some people were thinking? Well, they must have made some adjustments at halftime. No, they didn't. The coaches went in there and said, look, it's there. Make the plays. I mean, we're pros. We do it all week in practice. Let's just execute on the field. Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator. In fact, what did Pete Carroll tell us this week? We had a great week of practice. Scott Zolak was as sharp as he's ever been. But then he hesitated. He goes, but you never know.
On 2nd and 9, Zolak keeps it. Rolling, throws, incomplete. Lovett Purnell. Purnell looked to be open a lot sooner in the pattern than before Zolak threw it.
Yeah, Greg, you're exactly right. He is open right from the start. Here he is at the top. He's going to run out here. Now watch Scott Zolak. You make the fake. You're running out there. The receiver's open. Throw it. Throw it. And he waits too long. The ball is tipped. Incomplete pass.
So now 3rd and 9 for the Patriots. They need to get to the 48-yard line of the Jaguars. Penalty marker. Zolak over the middle has his man, Troy Brown, and Brown close to the 35. 22-yard pickup, but let's check the flag. Jacksonville appeared to be offside.
Jacksonville offsides. Now I'm wondering why all of a sudden is Jacksonville blitzing the New England offense.
Defense. Number 90. Penalties decline.
Here comes the blitz. I mean, people, Tony Brackens takes that step forward, crosses the line of scrimmage. But look at the blitz. Dave Thomas is coming in. What this does, if you protect the quarterback, it creates wide open holes behind the defensive line. And look at Troy Brown. Nobody around him.
Eighth play of this drive, 5 wide receivers, and now Edwards comes back into the backfield. Zolak, near side, complete, and Lovett Purnell meets up with Dave Thomas over here on the near side of the field.
Now you see, this is what can happen. You get a couple first downs. Now the offense can. Ernie Zampese said, well, let's loosen things up. Shotgun first down, 4 wide receivers. Now you're on the sideline. Lovett Purnell makes the catch. Ooh, then the hit.
In the first half, Patriots had 54 yards, 57 on this drive alone. As the New England offense has come alive here in the third quarter. 9:10 to play. 2nd and short. Zolak throws, complete. And Sean Jefferson has enough for the first down. It's like night and day, Phil. First half to second half for New England's offense.
It's kind of amazing, isn't it? You know, and of course, they're going to go home after the game and all their people, well, why didn't you do that in the first half? Why didn't, well, you know, if you could do that all the time, then you wouldn't lose many football. You wouldn't lose any games.
3 first downs on this drive. Straight ahead, Edwards with a head of steam inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line.
Now they got the defense off balance. They got the defense. We always talk about this. Now the defense is reacting to what happens on offense instead of attacking, which they could do in the first half. because the offense was struggling so much. Shotgun on first down, draw play this time, picks up 7 to 8 yards.
2nd and 3. See the Jaguars running defense, which we mentioned earlier has been a problem for Jacksonville. About the 15 to about the 14-yard line, and those are pigeons flying down there in the Jacksonville secondary.
Yeah, look at they're right behind the line of scrimmage, and these guys, they don't care. You know what happened is they seeded the field with some rye seed, and these pigeons are down there just tearing it up.
Meanwhile, they have no fear written across their feathers.
You know, yeah. Greg, they can't fly away. They have been eating since we got here at the park today. What's the old saying? Sometimes you just got to eat hurt.
Yes, you do, and they are.
They're doing it.
That is a first down for the Patriots at the 15-yard line. The pigeons are at the 7.
Well, there was a game here on Friday, the Gator Bowl, and the pigeons, there was more of them on the field. A couple times they actually hit some of the players. As the players finally ran up by them, they'd fly away and they were bumping into the players.
All I know is as Zephyrus Moss heads out to the right, we're going to have some fricassee at about the 5-yard line. Zolak for the end zone. Caught by Ben Coates, but out of bounds.
Well, Scott Zolak taking a chance. He sees he has a chance for the touchdown. Bryce Pop, Ben Coates one-on-one. And the ball hits the ground. Doesn't look like he quite got possession before he went out of bounds.
Well, you talked about the change in the Patriot offense. How about Zolak? 5 of 16 for 39 yards in the first half. 5 of 7 for 60 yards here in the second. Play clock is down to 5. Zolak will have to hurry. And now he calls timeout. First timeout of the second half for the Patriots. Stops the clock with 7:13 to play here in the third quarter. As we welcome you back, Pete Carroll was up in arms during the timeout about something on the sideline.
Well, he wanted the play clock reset so his offense would have time, because by the time the offense got in the huddle, there was only 15 seconds left on the play clock. They break it. They got like 6 seconds. They didn't give his offense a chance to get the play off.
2nd and 10 from the 14. Zolak throws complete, 10 inside the 10. And Troy Brown with the reception.
Well, when you get in this part of the field, once you get inside the 20-yard line, you're going to have to learn, or you got to catch the ball in traffic. Troy Brown coming across, trying to create a little traffic problem. Sits where there's nobody at. Scott Zolak on time, good protection, delivers the football.
Brian Schwartz with the quick hit. And it's a 3rd and 5. And a big play for New England in this game. Coates to the goal line, short of the goal line, but that'll be first down for New England.
Well, that is a good job of this offense. I tell you, I mean, first off, again, pressure on the quarterback. They protect Scott Zolak. And then inside, when you know you're going to get single coverage on Ben Coates, where only one defender is trying to cover, and Bryce Pop, a linebacker, trying to do that, Ben Coates is always going to win that matchup, because it's like they say, he just has that knack, and that knack is called going down there, putting your big body on him, pushing off, and getting open.
That looked a lot like Andre Reed at the goal line down in Miami yesterday, did it not? Shot clock, or play clock, is down to 1, and now New England calls another timeout and stops the clock with 5:48 to play in the third quarter. We're telling you about the difference between Scott Zolak first half and this drive alone.
Well, in this drive alone, I mean, a couple things. The Jaguars said they got a quarterback over there, backup quarterback in there, a rookie running back, a backup wide receiver. They can't string enough plays together to score touchdowns. This is the 15th play of this drive.
On first and goal, Edwards goes up top, and he comes up short. Linebackers Brian Schwartz, Kevin Hardy were up there to meet him.
Well, this is something that's really become hard to do in the National Football League, is run right up the middle in situations where there's a couple inches to go for a first down, or if it's a half a yard to go for a touchdown. And Robert Edwards tries to go over the top, but look at all the people in the middle. John Yurkovich, number 64, was right in the middle of that. Did a good job of winning the battle at the line of scrimmage.
Zolak keeps it, throws, goal line, short and short. There is no touchdown signal. Tony Carter out of the backfield. And it'll be 3rd and goal.
And now is the time, you know, you're out there in offense. Now you start getting nervous about this. But Scott Zolak does a good job of moving around, makes the throw. Good spot by the officials. A little short of the touchdown.
For all of its problems stopping the run, Jacksonville's defense has allowed 1 rushing touchdown over the last 20 quarters. Edwards cuts it back. Touchdown.
Robert Edwards, 1-yard touchdown run.
Well, that was work. From 3 inches out, it took him 3 plays. And then you almost have to take a chance by pitching the ball to Robert Edwards to go outside where you could lose 4 or 5 yards and have to kick the field goal. But a good job by Robert Edwards. What you do in these situations, you take it. He sees a little bit of daylight inside. Take it immediately. Good job. Get the touchdown.
Robert Edwards is the only Patriot who has scored a rushing touchdown this season. The extra point is good. 9 during the regular season. 1 here in the postseason now. 17 play, 85-yard drive. Pete Carroll says, we're on the board. Welcome back to Jacksonville. The sun is suddenly shining on the New England Patriots as they engineer a lengthy drive to cut the Jacksonville lead to 12-7. From the goal line, Reggie Barlow. 20 out to the 23-yard line. And Mark Brunell trots back onto the field with the offense. Or does he? As we come back to Jacksonville, we remind you, log on to NFL.com for complete wildcard coverage and get an insider's view from Packers safety Darren Sharper. Plus, this week's player spotlight is 49ers wide receiver Terrell Owens, NFL.com. So Brunell back in at quarterback, and he starts off with 4 wide receivers. Quick drop, throws complete and incomplete. Dropped by Damon Jones. Mark Brunell has had himself a rough afternoon so far.
Well, he has. I mean, you come in the game, your ankle's a little sore. The Patriots have done a good job of making him move around, and they're letting him know when you throw this football, we are going to hit you. And we're starting to see the effects of those hits as he walks around. Even as he hands the football off, he's limping, having a hard time doing it.
On the left side, pickup of about a yard.
And there's no question, I've noticed a difference in the Patriots defense in the second half in the defenses that they're calling, being more aggressive. And Pete Carroll told us last night, if Mark Brunell looks like he's having trouble, he starts to limp around, we are going to get after him, try to hit him, see if he'll make those mistakes, but really to make him run, because he can't. That's going to be hard for him to throw the football.
Third and 9. Quick pass is complete. That will be well short of a first down to Jimmy Smith. And a few boos come up from the crowd. Pete Carroll's all fired up.
Well, I tell you, he should be fired up. I mean, everything that they could do wrong, they did in the first half. They go off the field, they're down 12-0. Then they come out in the second half. The offense goes right down the field. They score the touchdown, and the defense, they've got it figured out.
Troy Brown is deep for the Patriots. Not a good kick from Barkley. Bounces once. Brown at the 28. 40. Across the 45-yard line. Kevin Devine with the tackle after a 16-yard return. Tonight on CBS, knowing that junkies will do anything for a fix, one city has hit on a novel way to fix the problem. Does it work? Find out on 60 Minutes tonight. Then, can a woman be saved by her abusive ex-boyfriend on Touched by an Angel? Followed by the CBS Sunday movie Sabrina, a romantic comedy starring Harrison Ford, Julia Ormond, and Greg Kinnear. Tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. Good field position for the Patriots, who look to build on the momentum from the previous drive and the touchdown. They trail 12-7. Zolak, complete, first down, Tony Simmons.
Boy, good job by Scott Zolak. He looked out there. Aaron Beasley came up short. Zolak was going to throw it short, pulled the ball back down, went behind him and got the completion. Watch this. He looks to the right, going to throw it short. No, and then he pulls it back and then sees the open receiver, Tony Simmons, deeper down the sideline and makes the throw. Tony Simmons makes the catch.
When we talked with Scott Zolak last night, he didn't lack for confidence. Edwards hit hard in the backfield, a loss of about 4. Eric Curry, the 6-year man from Alabama, met him head on.
Well, Jacksonville playing a lot of different people up front. Eric Curry, number 75. Look at the penetration and just knocks the blocker over. Bruce Armstrong knocks him to the ground and then makes the tackle.
Eric Curry's 6'6", 269. More than a match for Robert Edwards at 5'11" and 220. Zolak throws near side, has his man, and that's Simmons. Simmons out of bounds after making a first down for New England again. So the Patriots come back from the loss of yardage to click for another first down.
Well, Scott Zolak, he's hot. He is hot. He's throwing the football with accuracy. And look at this. Dave Thomas goes to knock the ball down, but because of the accuracy and the speed that Scott Zolak puts behind this football, gets it by the quarterback before he can make the play.
So now to the 28-yard line of Jacksonville. Clock coming up on 1 minute to play here in the third. Zolak in the flat. Edwards, room to run. First down, out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Now that play has been there almost all day long, where Robert Edwards is swinging out of the backfield. Nobody there to cover him, because the Jaguars have been putting so much emphasis now down the field covering Ben Coates that nobody can come off and cover Robert Edwards. And that play he threw the ball in the end zone to Ben Coates, Robert Edwards was wide open. If he'd have swung it to him then, he might have scored.
Cedric Shaw in the backfield. And the give is to Shaw across the 10. And, you know, these last two drives by the Patriots, if 73,000 people could collectively go, uh-oh, that's about what has happened over the last few minutes here.
Yes, it has. I mean, it's amazing. You hit that first third down. That was the key for the New England Patriots. Scott Zolak, they finally picked up a third down. They kept a drive going. It gave them a little confidence. And all of a sudden, the play calling gets a lot easier for Ernie Zampese.
That Cedric Shaw run is the last play. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Jaguars 12, the Patriots 7. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, America's most watched network. Second down for the Patriots. They need to reach the 3-yard line. Zolak with time throws and overthrows his man in the end zone, Sean Jefferson.
Well, he had Sean Jefferson open for the touchdown, but watch what happened. Zolak, the pressure, the push by Kelvin Pritchett, gets up in his face. He waits a little too long to throw it, can't follow through. The ball sails high. You see that? He had to keep his arm up real high throwing the football, and you can see Sean Jefferson was wide open. Look what he did in the third quarter. 11 for 13.
3rd and 6. Zolak over the middle, dropped by Brunell at the 5-yard line.
Boy, this time they cleared out inside. the Patriots use a formation, get some motion. Everybody goes up the middle. You can see the receivers. Mark Brunell is open. He's going to pick up the first down, but he doesn't make the catch.
If you play in the National Football League, you got to hold on to that.
Yes, you do. And then some of the offensive linemen for the Patriots were yelling at him, catch the ball, after the play was over.
27-yard field goal attempt by Adam Vinatieri. And it's good. So the Patriots, coming alive here in the second half, have closed the gap to 2 early in the fourth quarter. Pete Carroll's New England Patriots have clawed their way back from a 12-0 halftime deficit with 2 significant drives, and it's now a 12-10 game. Reggie Barlow for Jacksonville from the 11, 25, and about the 30-yard line. And Mark Brunell, hobbled, sore ankle and all, comes back onto the field.
Well, you know, he's kind of like Mark Brunell's just got to make up his mind. Hey, this ankle hurts, but so what? Nobody cares. And you just kind of really just kind of forget about it and somehow hang in there and just tough it out and make the plays. I mean, it's like Scott Zolak. Everything went bad in the first half, but he came out here and, you know, at halftime probably gave himself a little talk. He turned things around.
Check 193.
Brunell, quick drop, throws down the sideline, complete and incomplete. Jimmy Smith had it and blocked it.
Here's what happens. Mark Brunell checked off to a short pass play. New England was going to blitz. Instead, watch this. The corner comes up. The safety is behind him. Ty Law comes up. The safety's got to get over there a little quicker. Oh, and Jimmy Smith might have dropped a touchdown pass. But they heard Mark Brunell checking off, so they really had a double coverage on Jimmy Smith, but they weren't quick enough getting to it.
Brunell back again, popped up into the air and falls incomplete.
I mean, Greg, that last play, Mark Brunell checks off. New England, they hear it. They do a really good job, I think, of changing their coverage. Mark Brunell makes a terrific play. It could have won the game. Jimmy Smith catches it. It looks like he's going to score. It could have been enough to win the football game, but now what are you looking at? 3rd and 10, you're in a tough situation.
You saw defensive coordinator Steve Sidwell there. Now his Patriots looking at a big 3rd down stand. Brunell over the middle, wide open, complete to Pete Mitchell. Mitchell across midfield for a Jacksonville first down.
Well, it was a nice blitz, or a blitz by the New England Patriots, and we talked about it earlier in the game. When you are going to blitz, there are going to be people open over the middle of the field, but Tony Boselli drives Chris Slade out of the picture, and look at the middle of the field, how wide open. Nobody covering Pete Mitchell. When you blitz, you count on getting to the quarterback. You can only cover him so long.
Jacksonville into New England territory now on first down. Fred Taylor to the 45. From the Jacksonville side of the field, probably heard more than just a few guys say, we needed that.
Oh, you know, absolutely. I mean, it was starting to wear him. Look at Ben Coates getting his ankle taped again. But yeah, Greg, you know, you need that first down. What it does, you hear it so much. It gets you in rhythm. It gets the players, but also gets the play caller in rhythm. It becomes easier for the coordinators to call the plays.
2nd and 7. Taylor again. First down inside the 40 to about the 38, maybe the 37-yard line.
Boy, just about every time today when Jacksonville runs the football, it's almost always to the left. Tony Boselli driving Willie McGinnis out. Ben Coleman doing a good job getting the block. Here he is, Willie McGinnis, just way too far outside. Opens up a hole inside.
Now Taylor flanks as a receiver to the top of the screen. Brunell going to go for it all. Jimmy Smith down the sideline. Touchdown!
What a good throw by Mark Brunell. He throws this thing up nice and high and soft. Ty Law on the bump against Jimmy Smith. It's the speed of Jimmy Smith, and he just outruns Ty Law to the football.
Brian Barker will hold for Mike Hollis. So Jimmy Smith dropped a possible touchdown pass on the far side, makes the catch on this side of the field, and Mark Brunell is one happy camper. 19-10 Jacksonville. Patriots scored 10 points to pull back into this game. The Jaguars answer with a 70-yard drive, capped by the touchdown pass. Brunell to Jimmy Smith. Derek Cullers from the 9. And down at the 22-yard line. And let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, let's look what happens. Here they are down at the middle, the bottom of the field. Jimmy Smith against Ty Law. Just watch the speed of Jimmy Smith. Look, they're even. They're even. The ball's in the air. And now Jimmy Smith turns it on and just gets in front of Ty Law to make the catch. I mean, that was something Ty Law said to us last night about Jimmy Smith. He is so fast. Now Mark Brunell is going to be happy about that throw and catch, that's for sure. But he says Jimmy Smith has so much speed, you don't want to get what he calls stacked. That means you get behind the receiver when he's running down the field. The only thing you can do really is have pass interference to stop the, to make it incomplete.
So Zolak fakes the run. Waits, throws this side. Carter eludes a tackler and out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. After all that, a pickup of no more than 2-3. Call it a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 7. Zolak looked for a second as if he wanted to go deep down the sideline.
Well, of course he did. You want to go deep, try to make the play, but it's not there. Still plenty of time. Don't take a chance yet.
Clock moving, coming up on 11:50 to play here in regulation. Zolak, a little bit of a stumble, throws this side, and it is complete to Shawn Jefferson. And that should be enough for a first down.
Boy, good throw by Scott Zolak. Under pressure, hangs in there and makes that tough out throw to Shawn Jefferson. Bryce Popp, number 95, he's coming in to the back of the quarterback. Max Lane stepped on his foot. Bryce Popp almost knocked the ball out of his hands, but he hangs in there and makes the throw.
First down, Patriots at their own 33. Edwards. A couple to the 35. Bryce Popp with the tackle.
You know, Greg, we heard it from a few of the players yesterday. I mean, you just score to make the score 19-10. And you get the offense kind of backed up, the Patriots. Most teams in most places, the crowd would be so loud and so into it, it would make it really, really difficult for the offense to execute. And we heard it from the players. They were hoping this crowd would be noisy, loud, and really give them an advantage in the game today. But I don't think they've ever been loud enough to really cause a problem for New England's offense.
71,139, the official count here today from the shotgun. Zolak has it batted into the air, and it falls incomplete. Joel Schmengi with the defensive play in Zolak's face.
Well, this is kind of Scott Zolak's fault. What you got to do on these screen plays, you've got to create a little space between you and the defensive line sometimes. He didn't retreat far enough. And that's the cause of the knockdown pass. He couldn't get over the defensive lineman.
So Zolak now faced with 3rd and 8. And at 8+ yards, he is 2 out of 6. Quick drop, quick slant in the air, falls incomplete, and the Patriots will have to kick it away. Simmons, the intended receiver, Kevin Devine, number 26, there to cover for Jacksonville.
Well, not a disaster for New England. They did pick up a first down. What you want to do, just get a good punt, back up the Jacksonville Jaguars, and somehow come out and stop them and try to regain good field position on your next possession.
The fans just may be chanting Reggie Barlow, who is deep. This will be Barlow at the 20. 30 to the 33-yard line. And we have a stoppage of play with 10:15 to play here in the 4th quarter. Jacksonville with the football when we come back. Welcome back as Wild Card Weekend continues. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan, and the rest of our crack CBS Sports staff here at Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville. First down from the 33-yard line for the Jaguars. Fred Taylor. Not a whole lot there. Meanwhile, on the sideline, they're going to try to work on that offense just a little bit more.
You know, Greg, I always see you up here reading those promos. You know, I'm a little jealous, so I'd like to read a promo. How's that? The TV Guide Award nominations came out today. You'd be happy to know that CBS got more nominations than any other network, including Sportscaster of the Year nominee Greg Gumbel. How about that? Congratulations.
My goodness, I'll have to...
Yeah, you're speechless.
Yes, I am.
So is that how I get you speechless? I just say something nice about you? Is that it? You're not used to it, huh?
Usually you just say, shut up.
Yeah, that's it. Well, let's look where Fred Taylor, we've even said it a few times today. You got a great blocker on the left. 93 yards over there, doing pretty good in the middle, but to the right, only 2 attempts going to the right side. Left-handed quarterback, a left-handed running team too.
3rd and 3. Brunell rolls, throws, incomplete. Nice defensive play by Steve Israel on the near side of the field to break it up.
Boy, good job by Steve Israel. That is what is really given this Patriot team fits over the whole season. They've been so poor on 3rd down passing, but today more aggressive at the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of those short passes, and that was a good example of it.
During the last timeout, we talked about what the Patriots have to do. You said all they have to do, get a good punt, good field position, defensive stand, get the ball back in better position.
Well, it worked the way they wanted. 8:58, almost 9 minutes to go, still in the game, so they only lost about a minute on that possession.
Troy Brown. Oh, and Barker booms a punt. Bounces inside the 5 and into the end zone. 60-yard punt by Brian Barker, and the Patriots will get it started from their own 20. The New England Patriots have lost the last 5 playoff games that they have played away from home. They would dearly love to not make it 6. They'll start it off on the ground, and Robert Edwards straight ahead. Kevin Hardy with the tackle. Kevin Hardy has been in on so many defensive plays today for Jacksonville.
2 guys that have really played well in this Jacksonville defense. Kevin Hardy, number 51, is doing a good job of running around, making those tackles. And the other guy, number 64 here, John Yurkovich, has really done a good job of just plugging up the guards and the centers, letting the linebackers run around and make those tackles.
Yurko, what a delight he is to talk to. Anytime.
Yeah, he is. He says, I owe this good body to a lot of calisthenics and roughage. That's what does it for him.
Zolak over the middle, complete. Sean Jefferson, and Jefferson has enough for a Patriot first down.
Good job, Sean Jefferson. He is the speed receiver for the New England Patriots. When he runs down the field, you got to give him some cushion. And this time, you can see the cushion that Dave Thomas gave him, about 5 yards behind him. Now let's watch Yurko. That's his nickname. This is what he is as a pass rusher. He just bulls straight ahead, and
he occupies people.
He's not much in that move department, you know. But that's why he's a good run stopper, because he just kind of anchors down in there, and you can't move him. So it takes two people. He occupies two, and linebackers can make plays.
Lost the football. Jacksonville has it. Tony Brackens, number 90. Joel Schmengi, number 99, the man who forced the fumble.
Well, Scott Zolak, let's watch. He has time to throw it. Here's Schmengi down at the bottom. He's moving. You got to feel that pressure. Not that you could really get rid of the football, but put two hands on it and not give up this fumble. He kind of sees it coming. Well, apparently he didn't see it. That's why he fumbled the football.
That's the fourth New England fumble of the day. The second one they have lost. Jacksonville with the ball now at the 25-yard line. Taylor, right side, pick up about 4 to the 21.
Well, one good first down. Fred Taylor, 140 yards rushing today, but one first down by running the football for the Jacksonville Jaguars would eat up a couple minutes on the clock, and if they kick a field goal, it would take 2 touchdowns then by the New England Patriots to win the football game.
On 2nd and 6. Brunell rolls, end zone, incomplete. McCardell, the intended receiver.
Well, that was good defense by the New England Patriots. Brunell, even if he was healthy here, couldn't have run with the football, but he looks at the first, the second receiver, then comes all the way across the field and spots Keenan McCardell in the back of the end zone and almost makes a great throw.
You know, we did get the lowdown that Keenan McCardell is the man who dresses the best on the Jacksonville team.
That's what he's on, that guy's best dress. Blackwell's, is that it? Mr. Blackwell?
On the ground, Fred Taylor comes up short of a first down. And Willie McGinnis with the tackle. The crowd wants Tom Coughlin to go for it, and Tom Coughlin says, yeah, I'm going to go for the field goal.
That's right, no hesitation, and you got to say to the crowd, look, it's 19-10. Do you know how big 3 points is?
Or are.
I'm sorry.
Hollis has been good from 35 and 24. This is a 34-yard field goal attempt. Barker with the setup, and the kick is good. Barker scooped it off the turf.
Boy, that was a good job by Barker. Watch the snap. It's a little low and to the outside, just stops it with both hands, and they just, and he doesn't even get it down. And Hollis just kicks it through.
And a helicopter goes through the goalpost.
Oh, and they know, hey, we got away with a good one there. Good job by Mike Hollis, just going ahead and kicking the football. Don't hesitate.
Well, we want to remind you the postseason continues next weekend with the NFL on CBS, with the Super Bowl champion Broncos hosting either New England or Buffalo at 4 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. And the AFC East champion New York Jets host either Jacksonville or Miami at 12:35 Eastern time on Sunday. The AFC divisional playoffs only on the NFL on CBS, and it all begins both days with the NFL Today on CBS, America's most watched network. Let me correct. Broncos will host either New England or Miami. The Buffalo Bills, after a terrific season, have gone home for the year. And a strange game in many ways down in Miami yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, that game, if you're on the sideline, your emotions changed about 20 times.
Gonzalez's kick. Derek Cullors near his goal line. And out across the 20 to about the 22.
Well, I think the one thing we found out about yesterday's game is that Jimmy Johnson, when you're playing against him, which is kind of his reputation, and because I had a chance to play against him many times in big games, and when he won all those won the 2 Super Bowls with Dallas Cowboys, he will take a chance in the big games, in the kicking game, on any side of the ball, and we saw it with the onside kick yesterday.
In fact, you said to me, that is Jimmy Johnson. That's exactly Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, he loves that onside kick. I mean, he's done it a lot in his career. So if you're playing the Miami Dolphins, I would think next week, though, it won't be quite a surprise to anybody.
First down, Patriots 22-yard line, and the crowd back into the game for the Jaguars. Zolak throws Edwards in the flat, and that's a pickup of maybe a yard at best. And the clock now becoming more of an enemy of the New England Patriots.
Well, it is only 5.5 minutes to go. But the big thing is, too, which it is a problem, New England had to use 2 of their timeouts already because of the play clock. They couldn't get plays off. So only having 1 timeout is going to be a factor.
Zolak, incomplete, batted down by Dave Thomas.
Timeouts. Jacksonville still has 3. New England 1. Watch Dave Thomas, number 41. Read the receiver. He stops. Good break on the football. Scott Zolak just a second late with the throw.
And now it's 3rd and 9. And the Patriots 2 of 7 from distances such as this. Complete to Cullors out of the backfield across the 35, and that's enough for a first down. That's a 13-yard pickup. And that's Donovan Darius. Slow getting up in the secondary.
Well, that's a nice play by New England. Cullors comes out of the backfield. It's a perfect throw as he's shifting the ball to get a better handle on it. He almost fumbles.
Now Darius, keep in mind, started the first 14 games of this season, has missed the last 2 with a strained hip, groin, abdominal ailment. Tom Coughlin said, well, we're going to give him a shot at going and getting the job done today, but maybe one of those ailments has come back to haunt him.
Didn't practice us much this week. Practiced on Friday, and you know, he was the draft pick down here from Syracuse, and Tom Coughlin said we drafted this guy to be an impact player, and from the safety position he has been an impact player for their defense this year.
Well, working that right arm. Darius, the 25th player selected in the draft.
And he says, you know, he's a hitter. He can cover. He can do all the things you want from a safety nowadays. And he said, growing up, man, my 2 idols were Ronnie Lott and Steve Atwater. So he tries to play a lot like him.
First down, New England. Their own 36. Zolak throws far side and overthrows his intended receiver, Troy Brown, who was wide open. The guy who has come into the game to replace Donovan Darius is Blaine McElmurray, and now Darius trots back onto the field, and McElmurray comes to the sideline.
Yeah, what about McElmurray? Tom Coughlin says, hey, we've had this guy 2 weeks. We get him off the practice squad at Green Bay. He's getting ready to go to med school, and now he's, you know, been playing quite a bit for the Jaguar defense.
Zolak throws the side incomplete. Tony Simmons. And you can feel the Jacksonville defense kind of regaining a little momentum now.
Yeah, it has. And I tell you, I thought maybe if you were suspect on this defense, they've been getting hit by the running plays up the middle. But people always think they can pick on the Jacksonville corners throwing the football. But today, Aaron Beasley and Dave Thomas have both played very well.
Huge play here for the New England offense. 3 out of 8 in long-distance third down attempts. Over the middle, incomplete. And Zolak, as he has done a couple of times that day, threw it pretty hard on a short yardage pass.
Well, we saw it last third down, the exact play going to the right. So they switched the formations. They do it to the left, but Kevin Hardy really did a good job of staying in position. Watch this throw. Hits the top of the helmet of Derek Cullors. Yeah.
So on 4th and 10. Jacksonville's defense looking to put this one away right here. Zolak on the move, throws across the field, and whistles are blowing. There's a penalty marker down on this play, and that interception will not count. This would mean there'd have to be movement in the offensive line.
That's right. Snap. False start. Right guard. 5 yards. Repeat 4th down.
The right guard would be Todd Rucci. So now Zolak will look at a 4th and 15.
You got to make sure you throw this ball down the field far enough to pick up the first down.
A 3-man rush, and it gets to Scott Zolak. Tony Brackens.
Well, the big playmakers have made the plays today so far for Jacksonville on offense and defense. Kevin Hardy's been stopping a lot of the runs, and Tony Brackens, number 90, he's the pass rusher for this Jaguar defense, and he has pressured the quarterback quite a few times today. He comes up with a big sack on 4th down.
So the Patriots take over at the 20-yard line with less than 4.5 minutes to play. Or the Jaguars, excuse me. Taylor inside the 20 to about the 19, maybe the 18-yard line. As the clock continues to move, we remind you, Jacksonville victory here means the Jaguars will travel to the Meadowlands to play the New York Jets next weekend and send the Miami Dolphins to Denver. The Miami-Denver game, 4 o'clock Eastern time, Saturday here on CBS. And then Jacksonville and the Jets, the early game Sunday. Taylor again. And they may have lost a yard or two on that play.
I would think New England would use its timeout here to stop the clock and see if Jacksonville would throw it on 3rd down. But here comes the run towards you. If you're the defense of New England, you play run 100% in this situation. They did stop Fred Taylor for no gain.
If you're Tom Coughlin, do you throw the ball here?
As you can see, I'm hesitating because I don't quite know. No, I would run it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Eat up the extra time.
Especially when you got Fred Taylor inside the 10, and that's a 1st down.
Boy, that last little move was important. He stopped, looked like he was going to try to cut it back, but he did the right thing. Just keep going straight ahead and pick up the 1st down.
When we talked to Tom Coughlin yesterday morning, he said, you know, you didn't even want to talk about Fred Taylor at the beginning of the year because he was a rookie, and Tom doesn't put much stock in rookies, but boy, where would he be without Fred Taylor this season?
Well, he drafted him in the 1st round. He already had James Stewart in here, who was a good running back, a 1st-round draft pick from Tennessee a few years ago. But he says he knows from experience in this league, you need 2 good, solid running backs on your football team.
Taylor wrapped up before he got to the 10-yard line. And Lawyer Malloy, Ferrick Collins there as we come up on the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in this playoff game in Jacksonville, and it's all Jaguars.
Oh, I know. Never had a chance.
Fred Taylor, now the 3rd most yardage gained by a rookie in a playoff game. Timmy Smith in Super Bowl 22 Paul Lowe with the LA Chargers, and Fred Taylor, who passed Zach Crockett, who held down the number 3 spot, now a teammate of his when Crockett was with the Colts. Fred Taylor is going to be some running back for a couple of years in the NFL. He already is. 2nd and goal. Taylor, this side, 10, and out of bounds at about the 5.
Well, he tried not to go out of bounds because he knew at the last second he did a good job of bouncing outside. And then just before he hit the sideline, watch what Fred Taylor does. Now, this is why he is such a good running back. Nothing inside, and he just has the speed to outrun you to the sideline. But look, here at the end, oh, no, I don't want to go out. Yeah, you might hear that from somebody a little later by the name of
there's
Tom
the
Coughlin.
somebody. 3rd and goal from the 5. Again, Taylor to the 3.
Now New England uses his timeout.
Its final timeout, and stops the clock with 1:47 to play. And we'll see what Tom Coughlin decides to do here. Coming up next here on CBS Sports, NCAA basketball. The Fighting Illini will be seeing red when they hook up with Bob Knight's Indiana Hoosiers. College basketball next year on CBS Sports. CBS, America's most watched network. It's close to that March Madness time.
It's getting there. You'll be working. I'll be watching.
You get a little mad in March, don't you?
Oh, I love that tournament. I really do. But, you know, looking at this game, Greg, Jacksonville wins. That sends them up to play the New York Jets. Tom Coughlin, of course, at one time years ago, worked on the same staff under Bill Parcells. And, in fact, we even had a little message for Tom the other day. Or as Bill Parcells likes to say, you tell Tommy, ask him if he can show us how to run that. What was it? The scissors play.
The scissors play.
Tom Coughlin, the wing back up at Syracuse. I think Ernie Davis was one of the runners, so Tom was good at running the counter play.
Floyd Little.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
21-yard attempt.
Hollis from 21 yards out. And it's good. So Hollis, 4 out of 4 in the field goal department, stretches Jacksonville's lead to 25-10 with 1:44 to play.
Well, the one thing you got to say, the New England Patriots last week, they struggled in every area that a football team came. Today they came down here, they played with more spirit. They were more emotional. The effort was there, but the execution really wasn't. That's what beat them. The first half they had some chances to make some plays and they didn't do it. Couldn't overcome that in the second half.
While we have a moment, I want to remind you the executive producer of CBS Sports is Terry Ewert. The coordinating director of the NFL on CBS is Larry Cavallina. The producer of today's game is Mark Wolf. The senior producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The NFL Today is directed by Bob Matina. Ross Schneiderman, the associate director of today's game. Our associate producers, Chris Svensson and Peter Rogaris. Our broadcast associates, Steve Karasik and Greg Freeman. Assisted ably here in the booth by Paul Newman, Michael Gluck. I think that
Paul Newman? Oh,
not that
this
one.
Paul Newman.
Not that one.
Yeah. Well, he's a handsome fellow too, you know. This Paul Newman I'm talking about.
I think you ought to change your lenses. Hollis's kick is a short one. And this is Cullers. And Cullers twisting away from a couple of tacklers, but it's finally brought down close to the 25-yard line. So with Jacksonville on the verge of victory here today, here is what happens. Next Saturday, the Miami Dolphins travel to Denver here on CBS. 4 o'clock Eastern time Saturday. On Sunday, the Jacksonville Jaguars will take on the AFC East champion New York Jets. Jacksonville 1-1 all time against the Jets. They didn't play the Jets this year. On December the 21st, I think we all recall Miami defeated Denver down in Miami by a 31-21 score. Zolak from the shotgun. and overthrows his receiver, something he's done a couple of times today.
Pass intended for Mark Brunell.
Well, I think some of the players on the Patriots sideline, they're kind of congratulating each other a little there. I mean, some of them know they gave a good effort today and had a lot to overcome, a lot of injuries, a rough end of the season. And we even heard Mike Lombardi say on the CBS pregame show today that if they lost today, there was a chance that Pete Carroll's job would be in jeopardy, that he could be replaced by a new coach. And talk about that a little more after this play.
Zolak deep down the middle, intercepted. Chris Hudson down at the 35, and a penalty marker flies.
Well, you're down by 15 points, a minute 19 to go. The quarterback, Scott Zolak, takes a big chance is the thing. That's what he should do. Take a big chance, try to make a big play that results in an interception, but you got to try to win the game, and that's what he was doing.
After the interception, holding 96 is the return team. 10 yards, first down Jacksonville.
That's Fernando Smith.
Watch goes Scott Zolak looking down the middle of the field. Tries to stick the ball into Deshaun Jefferson, but Chris Hudson, he knows the situation, laying back there just waiting for the ball to be thrown, and then he reacts to it.
Well, you were talking about coaching possibilities. There was more than just a little unrest in the Boston area amongst the media and the fans after the loss last week.
A lot of that was created by what some of the players said after their loss to the New York Jets, that we were outplayed, outcoached. And, you know, first off, that's something can never happen. You can't have the players voicing their opinion, because you know what? Their opinion doesn't count. You can only have one boss of the company, and that has got to be the head coach. When you get any other outside forces, it really undermines the coach and the organization. And, you know, just talking about Pete Carroll, I just can't imagine that they would replace him as coach. All the adversity, what they went through this year, the injuries, they still got to the playoffs. I know it wasn't a great season. Everybody expects them to go to the Super Bowl, but I think it's something they can correct, get a few of the problems straightened out, and they could be back in the hunt again next year.
Well, New England owner Bob Kraft has steadfastly refused to comment on the status of Pete Carroll until after the season is over. For the Patriots, that's about 23 seconds from now.
Well, of course, that just puts a little more fuel to the fire and brings speculation by players. It puts questions in their mind, which you don't want, but it really gives the fans and the media a lot of question marks.
9-7 season. They lose the playoff game here. And we're done. For Phil Simms and Armin Katayan, I'm Greg Gumbel, and that's it from Jacksonville. Once again, our final score, the Jaguars 25 and the Patriots 10. Stay tuned now for the American General postgame show. Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and Mike Lombardi will have highlights and postgame interviews, and Randy Cross will preview the Packers 49ers NFC wildcard matchup from San Francisco. That's coming up right after these messages. This is the NFL on CBS, America's most watched network.
The American General postgame show is sponsored by the American General Financial Group. Live the life you've imagined.
And we welcome you to our studios in New York to the American General postgame show. Jacksonville wins and advances. Divisional round next for them against the Jets. Meanwhile, Miami will go out to Denver. Let's go back live now to Alltel Stadium, and Armin Katayan is standing by live.
I'm with Mark Brunell. Mark, the Jaguars lived up to their nick today, scratching and clawing to first big home playoff win.
It was a big game for us. We knew coming in that we were facing a tough opponent in the Patriots, and they played good defense. They made some plays, and we were fortunate to have some ourselves, and the guys played hard. We really worked hard today, and it's nice to have our first home victory in a playoff game.
A little out of rhythm. It looked early. How was the leg? How difficult was it to play on that ankle?
Well, it was a little difficult. It was a little sore coming in, but I was able to move around a little bit. As the game went on, it started feeling all right. The footwork wasn't something I need to work on this week, but I feel good about our chances this coming week. We're going to work hard, have a great week, and go try to beat the Jets.
Speaking of which, a tall order in New York next week. Probably the hottest team in the AFC, the New York Jets.
No question, and they are tough. And we've been in this situation before, facing a hot team on the road, and the guys in that locker room are going to have a lot of confidence going into New York. So It's going to be two very good football teams playing each other, so and the best team's going to win, so we're looking forward to it.
Thanks very much, Mark. Great game. Jim Nance, back to you in New York.
All right, thank you, Armin. Nice job there. Joined here by Brent, Marcus, and Michael. Jets will host the Jags next week. And you noticed that Brunell was really starting to play a lot like the old Mark Brunell there at the second half.
Yeah, it was nice to see him bounce back the second half. Courageous showing today by Mark Brunell. He was really struggling in the first half, throwing off his back foot a little bit. But here, the big throw of the game, you see him actually transfer his weight onto his front foot, move those hips, get his body into it, lays it out perfectly for Jimmy Smith to make that touchdown catch. He made a couple of big throws in the second half, and this week off is going to be great for Mark Brunell. I think he's all ready to go next week for the Jets game.
And there's been speculation that if Pete Carroll lost here, his job could be in jeopardy. What do you think, Mike?
Well, Jim, as Phil Simms said at the end of the commentary, at the end of the broadcast there, a lot of players complained last week after the loss to the Jets. Today's game, they made a little bit of a comeback. Bob Kraft needs to determine whether this team has a Super Bowl look to it, if Pete Carroll can lead them that way. And my feeling is I don't believe that.
I think Fred Taylor's showing everybody why he's one of the best rookies in football. 162 yards a day. He wasn't awed by the first playoff game, that's for sure.
And Robert Edwards, meanwhile, was held to only 28 yards. I don't understand on Carroll, though. 2 years, takes him to the playoffs both years. This year goes into the playoffs without Drew Bledsoe, and people are out for his neck. It just doesn't seem to fit. All right, let's show you now the AFC playoff picture. Miami at Denver. That'll be Saturday right here on CBS. They will meet again. Marino and Elway. The Dolphins defeated them now just 2 weeks ago down there at Pro Player Stadium. And on Sunday, we'll be here 12 noon Eastern time for the NFL Today. Then the Jags and the Jets will meet from Giants Stadium. And Tom Coughlin and Bill Parcells. Coughlin used to be on Parcells' staff. Beck was there when they won the Super Bowl in 1990. What do you think about that matchup?
I don't think Jacksonville matches up very well to the Jets. Jacksonville lacks speed in the secondary. They can't rush the passer. The Jets will spread them out, make plays in the passing game. I don't think it's the matchup that Jacksonville really would want right now.
Well, Marcus has been harping all year long on Miami getting their passing game going. It looks like it's starting to go a little bit. Some of those receivers are actually stepping up, making some plays. That's where you have to attack Denver in the secondary.
I want to remind everyone that coming up next on CBS, Big Ten basketball action, Illinois against number 8, Indiana. Vern Lundquist and Billy Packer will be there shortly with the call. That's coming up next here on CBS. When we come back, we're going to go out to San Francisco. Our Randy Cross is standing by with a report on that NFC wild card game. So we look one more time now at Fred Taylor, the rookie today, 162 yards and a touchdown.